I'm going to either win 388 games or I'm going to win 389. Neither one of them throw me over the hump or nothing. Unless something happened to Joe today. Anything happened to Joe today?
Offense, control the line of scrimmage. Be dominant. Communicate up front. Dominate with our size and athleticism. Ain't no time now to worry about what the outcome is. Don't look at the scoreboard. One play at a time. From the first play to the last play.
Need a horn and a drum roll.
Never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game on 4th inches.
Now it's time to go to work. Season's over. A different time. I told you they remember November. But December's our time. December's we do what we do. That's Florida State time. We're back where we belong.
Let's get it on. Need a horn to break it down.
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th inches.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, what is going on? Saturday night. We live. We on fire. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. My schedule's been, me being back at work, schedule's been a little bit hectic. So it's been a minute for me. But it's good to be back. It's good to be here. I didn't get to cover some stuff that happened, so we're going to cover all that. We're going to preview this fall camp. We're going to look at position battles, and we're going to check out the recruiting going in the fall, some of the targets, who we got a good shot at, who we in the mix for. But before we do everything else, you know what we about to do. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And you are here on 863 Seminole TV. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Most importantly, share them videos. Become an 863 tribe member. If you feel up to it. Try the new little intro. What y'all like about that logo at the end? Told you I got some stuff coming up. The logo was just a little teaser at the end, but we got some stuff coming up, man. So stay on the lookout for all of that. And we at you, or we in here for right now. And before we get started, you already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit this roll call. So if you want that shout out, by all means, get in that chat section. I give you 20 seconds to get in that chat section, put your name in there. So you make that roll call, and then we're gonna get right into the business. We're gonna get right into it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's get it. Starting off with Pac-Man 352. He says, let's go, Knowles. And he also dropped our first soup of the day. Says, go Knowles. Let's start out with the win versus Notre Dame. 100%. And I think we gon' get it. Let's go.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
No Blood says 36 days to Notre Dame. Go Knowles. Malik Beast. Ray Fitty. Jen Fari. Raul Torado says go Knowles. Peter Shields in the building says what's good, Polk and No family. Wayne, a.k.a. Till Dog, he's in the house. Great recruiting weekend last week. Tyler Hedden, one of my tribal chiefs, says, what's going on, Knowles? Island Boy, the one and only Norvell Central. Oh, Gabriel Rodriguez, let's go, Knowles. BB, FSU Rules, Art Davius, Rock, Jersey City. Rain Man. Got to represent the Candy Canes tonight. Montre. Irv. Gotti. Rose, another tribal chief. And we got a new member. Shout out to Irv Gotti for being a part of the 863 tribe. I don't have nothing for it, but I'm gonna give you P-Dub just because.
Yeah, more money, more money. Yeah, more money, more money.
All right, shout out to Irv Gotti, the newest member of the 863 tribe. Chris Miller in the building, and that is it for right now. Man, y'all coming in with some strong energy tonight, and I love it. That means we're going to have a good live stream tonight, man. Good live stream tonight. Y'all coming in with the energy. Dontre Richardson and Daniel Lyons, you saw him in the little intro video. I didn't get a chance to really talk much about it. Hey, those are FSU's two newest recruits, man. And we continue to stack the trenches, especially on the offensive side of the ball. It was a much needed addition to that defensive tackle room. Much needed. Lyons and Bishop Thomas together, you have the makings of a solid defensive tackle room. I'll even go as far as to say, if Woody is considered by the staff, to me, when I watch him, I think he's a defensive tackle. I think he makes the biggest impact there. I hear that the staff views him more as an offensive lineman, but I don't know for sure. If it was me, you're talking defensive tackle all day, and that would give you 3 solid defensive tackles in this class. I give the props when I need to give it. Shout out to Odell. We doing a little bit. It ain't perfect by any means. If it remains just Bishop Thomas and Daniel Lyons with Woody being your tweener, I mean, it's okay. It's solid. I wouldn't call it great. I don't know if either Bishop Thomas or Daniel Lyons are day one impact type guys. But at least we actually recruiting some defensive tackles now. So shout out to Coach Hagens. Right, like Ardavius said, he's surviving right now. I don't know if he's thriving, but he's surviving. What does this kid want? What, boy? Hold on. Let me tell you something. If you have kids, they are awesome. And cherish them. If you don't rush to have them. Some of my gun didn't bother me till I was starting doing this, but whatever. Anyway, back to what I was saying. He's surviving. I wouldn't say he's thriving, but we got a chance. We got a chance to maybe add a few more. And we'll talk about that later. But as far as the actual commits go, we'll start with Daniel Lyons. Again, I think he is a solid pickup. 3-star out of Homestead, I believe. Again, solid kid. I don't know if he's a day one impact player. Don't know, but I do think, it's a solid get. Same thing with Bishop. I don't know if either one of those are day one impact guys. I think Bishop Thomas is rated a little higher. I know on some websites have Thomas actually as a 4-star. I think Daniel is a consensus 3-star. So that is what it is there. Before we get into Dante Richardson, I see the chat jumping, so we're gonna see what y'all talking about. Rainman says best to ever do it, no cap. Richardson overrated. I do like Lions, coming from the Miami fan, but y'all really wanted Richardson. Is he overrated because he chose Florida State? Well, actually, both of them chose Florida State over Miami. Miami was in on both. But okay, we'll talk about Richardson. Y'all don't win 8 games. Okay. So Rain Man in here. First of all, Rain Man, this is my first time seeing you. I'm doing you the pleasure by reading your comments. Hope you subscribed. If you're not, you might want to get there. And again, since it's your first time in here that I can remember, I need my shooters to be on the lookout. If he get too belligerent, put him in timeout. We need to win 9 games. I think we win 8 at a minimum. I don't know if we need to win 9 games. Todd Pope, what's going on? The Project Dynasty says, what do you think about Norvell taking a page out of Willie playbook? FSU will be practicing at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville from August 10 to 14. Good or bad for recruitment? I don't have an issue with moving practices around. I'd be interested to know if that's going to stay the same with the COVID and the Delta variant. COVID's kind of getting crazy again. Go figure. Football season's about to start and COVID is getting a little crazy again. So I don't know, I know they canceled like a luncheon or something. Somebody can correct me on that. They canceled something recently. I don't know that, and they, who knows that might change, but I don't have a problem with moving practices around or any of that. Get any kids that in that Jacksonville area can come out and watch the team or whatever. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. It's inconsequential. I don't think it hurts. I think it can't hurt, and I think it can help, but I don't know if it does hurt or help. Okay, Rayman says he subscribed, so I appreciate that. What up with Chris Marv? Look, oh man, we're gonna talk a little bit about that recruitment stuff later with Coach Marv. Coach Marv, yeah, man. Coach Malik, COVID-19 just made a strong comeback, or did it really ever go anywhere to begin with? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Rose says now Miami fans were wanting Lions back. Then said Daughtry started dropping on their board. Sounds like excuses. FSU going to the ACC. Maybe one day. I don't know if in any time in the near future. They canceled the fan day. Yeah, I know they canceled something. Okay, the fan day. And Todd says, I think the Noles recruited a future starting O-line in the future. And everyone's seen the pick of a Jack man. Hey, you saw the pick. You saw the pick in the intro. Are we still questioning that strength and conditioning program? Because it wasn't just Dix that was looking like the Hulk. I don't know if y'all seen Jermaine Johnson. Granted, he's a transfer, so he necessarily didn't develop here. Or Fabian Lovett, who looks night and day from last year to this year. Jaleel McCray, Amari Gaynor. You can go down the list of some of these guys. I don't know. Everybody told me we had a bunch of little dudes. I don't know. Marv with the thong sandals. What's up, Polk? What up, Duval Knoll? Derek Neal says, what up? Why do you think FSU offered Trey Donaldson so late? 4-star DB from Tallahassee. I don't think they had a relationship with him. I think they're trying to build something late. I think he's Auburn. Probably Auburn. I just don't think they had a relationship with him. Who's left that we really need? We'll go over that. Quayshawn Fuller, saw him. Looked good too. And Rain Man coming back with the bull. I don't know. Rain Man, I will address this last comment from you before I start tuning you the whole way out. I don't know if Marvin Jones comes to Florida State or not, but I 100% guarantee you he won't be a Hurricane. And we'll leave it at that. Dontre Richardson is the next kid. And he's the interesting one. Daniel Lyons was like a must. Richardson is like a luxury at this point. Because we still got Early who's going to commit here really soon, and all the signs are pointing to Florida State. And of course, we still got Pritchett, who said Florida State's starting to feel like home. And of course, you still got Armelia, the legacy, who they're still recruiting fairly heavy. I think LSU is the team to beat there, but I think Armelia's in the mix. They have another kid, but I don't expect him to commit. He's committing. Is it Emory Jones? I think he's LSU. They're in on him, and they're in on actually a couple more offensive tackles, but they're a little bit lower ranking. What's his name? The kid I'm talking about. I can't find him. Bryson, no, is it Bryson Hurst? I'm thinking, or Eston Harris is who I'm thinking about. He's an Alabama kid who's high on Florida State, but I don't think he is a priority. But the offensive line is shaping up very nicely. Here's what I think is going to happen on this offensive line, to be quite honest with you. Don't be surprised. Right now, FSU has Ba, Sapp, Charlton, Richardson, and I guess if you count Woody, again, Woody's that tweener. Emory Jones just committed to LSU. There you go. So I felt that was coming. So there you go. Chris Miller with Emory Jones just committed. Woody could be fifth. I don't know if he is. Again, to me, he's a defensive tackle, but I heard the staff likes his length at offense in the offensive line. So it is what it is there. Do not be surprised if FSU at some point during this season has about 6-7 offensive line committed at one point. Do I think we're going to sign that many? No. What I do think is going to happen is, I talked about this before, they're just going to weed each other out. Somebody's going to look at that room and say, not necessarily, I don't want to compete, but come on, there's only so many spots available. Somebody will get spooked, and you might have a decommit or two on that offensive line. I fully expect that. Those are great, and that's a great problem to have. That's a great problem to have. As far as Richardson goes, I think he's another project player, but he is a true tackle. He's a true tackle. So he's not like Ba or Sap, who people are like, well, that could be a guard. That, you know, they're kind of tweeners, depending on how you mold and shape the body. They could be tackles. They most likely would be interior guys. Well, Richardson's, he's a true offensive tackle. I think he's a more of a developmental player. Again, I don't know if he's a year one type of guy. But from everything I heard, the brother had a great relationship with the staff. He has a great relationship with the staff, and it really came down to Miami, Florida State, and Kentucky. Kentucky kind of snuck in there late from what I was hearing. And there was some legit smoke to Kentucky, but ultimately he chooses Florida State, and FSU's got some good ones. FSU picked up some good ones this past weekend. No Blooded says, don't need Marv. Rodriguez, that would be great, but FSU and Clemson is tied to the ACC for another 10 to 15, and to break contract would massive financially. So we'll talk about that just for a little bit, because I kind of addressed this before. Yeah, FSU, not so much. I can't speak on Clemson, so I could care less. FSU, to break what's called the grant of rights or whatever the hell they're assigned to until like 2036, I believe, for the ACC. To break that would cost them financially like a whole, like I think it was reported that like Texas and Oklahoma are like paying upwards of $80 million to get out of the Big 12 earlier than they probably are supposed to or whatever. FSU wouldn't be able to do that without making a call to whatever conference they would be trying, and without any financial assistance. There's not too many programs around the country, let alone just FSU, that would be able to pay upwards of that amount of money. As far as Texas and Oklahoma are concerned, for one, they have massive amount of money themselves, and they'll make all that money back once they join the SEC. So DF says, Polk, what's good? Smash the like. Still got Eston Harris. Yep. Now we're going to talk about Eston. We're probably going to take early Pritchett and Harris. Pac-Man says, yep. Saw that, Pac. You donated. In case you missed it, I'll run it back for you. Pac-Man with the super chat.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
I agree. The Noles need to use 2 tight ends in the passing. Richardson got it. He's extremely long. Again, true tackle. Big, nice wingspan. Nice wingspan. Too much talent on the D not to be able to stay in games. Last year was so disappointing. That's Rock Jersey. You think we get Glover? No. We'll talk about Glover coming up. With all these transfers plus a full season, I see 8 to 9. I think Bishop Thomas is the most underrated take at the moment. Okay. So Tyler heading with a nice little take of his own. He says he thinks Bishop Thomas is the most underrated kid we got. I think Aaron Hester kind of would have an argument there, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. Well, since we're on recruiting, man, we'll continue the recruiting talk, and then we'll jump into some of these position battles coming in the falls. But let's just talk about it, because everybody got a bunch of questions. Let's talk about them. Jalen Glover, since that was just brought up. Jalen Glover, do I think – where was that question again? You think Glover with Gators getting running back? You think we getting Glover? I think Glover's still going to be a Gator. I've said this for the past few months when it came to Glover. I just read the tea leaves again. No inside information from me. I'm just a guy on YouTube that gives opinions. But from what I gathered and what I have been hearing, and when I talk to people, Glover probably would have committed if FSU really wanted him 2 or 3 months ago. And I don't think FSU is as high on him as people think. I think he's going to be a Gator. I don't think FSU has ever really. They've always had bigger targets on the board than Glover. It was Damari Alston. Now he committed to Auburn after everybody kind of thought he was LSU bound. I think he kind of surprised some people with the Auburn commitment. And they've got other running backs on the board. Javonte Barnes is one to keep an eye on. So they've always had bigger fish. And Norvell Central, if he's in the chat, he can speak to it. They've kind of always had bigger targets at the running back position. And I feel like Glover's always kind of been a backup to a backup. Like if they whiffed on everything, they would take them. I think Glover's going to commit to Florida because I don't really think FSU's honestly that interested. That's just me. That converted tight end looked really good last week. He was faster with good hands. We're talking about Brian Courtney. I'm going to say this. I saw the videos of Brian Courtney. What's up, Pat? Pat's in the building. I saw the videos of Brian Courtney, and I will say my stance on Brian Courtney hasn't changed a lick. If you remember it, I didn't understand the take, not because I didn't understand, not because I didn't think the kid could play football. You could have offered Brian Courtney after what you saw last week in camp, and I would almost bet you he still would have committed to Florida State last week instead of offering him a scholarship before you ever got him on campus, before you ever got your hands on him and seeing what he was about. So my stance takes, I was glad to see him actually kind of, work out. But I'm going to be honest, nothing I saw personally, not trying to be a hater, but nothing I saw personally was like, oh, I see some, solid football player from what I see. Big kid, solid athlete. Is he going to set the world on fire? My stance on Courtney remains the same. I'm sorry. I'm not going to – those clips that I saw of him catching some passes, it didn't excite me, if I'm just being honest. It didn't excite me. It was good to see. It was good to see that he's got a little bit of ball skills or whatever the case. But it didn't excite me. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You guys might differ. I know the internet, Twitter was on fire. Everybody was like, oh, look at that, look at that. I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. Nice little clip. Nothing I've never seen before. I would expect a high school player to be able to do those things that he was doing. So that's just me. That's just me. I know people do disagree with that particular take of mine, but that's just me. Shout out to Peter Shields joining the 863 tribe. Let's
clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy.
Rose says, I'm still not high on Courtney even after the workout. Got to trust Norvell and staff. I mean, I like what they're doing on the recruiting trail. And it's great, that you got the foresight to scout. I'm not saying that the kid can't contribute. I mean, at the worst, I think you got a special teams player. At the best, you found a hidden gem. Obviously, I just don't. My point is that workout didn't make me completely do a 180 and be like, oh yeah, that dude's legit. It's just me. I get sick of Bama. They got to be doing something to break the rules. They just win a lot. Travis Hunter said he will play both ways at FSU. He will be a defensive back. They may do some things, but he will be a defensive back. Don't trust Adam Fuller. Remember, these are just commits. These kids nowadays flip-flop like fish out of water. Holla at me when the ink hits the paper. That's true, too. All the Travis Hunter clips I see now are wide receiver clips. When I see him doing the 7-on-7s in the workouts, they put him they line him up at receiver. I get the infatuation with him at receiver because his ball skills are so tremendous. So I do get that infatuation. But he said it out of his own mouth that he's a DB. But he'll play a little bit. I think especially early in his career, he'll play a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, but don't expect much personally. I'm late. Don't get the alerts anymore for your channel. Gotta hit that. If you hit that icon button, man, but you ain't that late. We kind of just really getting started here. So you aren't that late, Zozuki. What's good with you? Fuller don't come through. He will definitely be replaced. I don't know if it's by Randy though. I hope it's not by Randy. That's just me. Now, if Randy wants to coach some linebackers, I'm all 100% for that. I don't want him coordinating my defense. But definitely, if he doesn't come through this year, he would definitely be replaced. And Zoe says, what up to all the no's in the building? So we talked a little bit about Glover. Who else y'all got? Let's just go over a list of kids that as we go into this fall, we're about to start fall camp. You know, there's a list of kids that FSU's a very solid list. Now, FSU's higher on the board for some than others. I've talked about Jalen Glover. Again, I think he's Florida bound. Javonte Barnes, I think he might be the number one guy on the board right now. At running back, at wide receiver, of course, we got Kevin Coleman. He's the number one guy on the board. They're still recruiting Andre Green. I think Clemson's kind of the leader there. But I think a solid season could make that recruitment interesting. You also got some little lower ranked wide receivers to keep an eye on. And Todd Sanders and Leroy Page. Guys that, you know, because FSU's got to continue to add to that wide receiver room. So if you kind of miss out on Green and Coleman, I think those are solid backups, or I don't want to call them backups, but solid other options at the wide receiver position. Of course, they're recruiting Jaleel Skinner as a wide receiver, so that's a plus. Athlete Kendrick Law. I don't really know how realistic that recruitment is, but he's on the radar. We talked about Jalen early. Of course, we talked about Pritchett and Armelia. There's Bryson Hurst, who has called Florida State his new number one. But again, with the numbers there, FSU is going to be taking. They love Coach. These kids, these offensive linemen love them some Coach Atkins. But Bryson Hurst, Eston Harris, and again, I think the numbers are going to work out because a guy like Ba. Now, I'm not saying Ball's going to decommit, but Ball's still actively taking visits. I think he's been visiting Georgia. I think he changed his profile pic to actually a Miami picture, if I'm not mistaken, here recently. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't mean anything. I think a guy like Ba, first of all, these kids in general, I want them to take all the visits they are allowed to take and they want to take. By all means, go out, get spoiled by these schools, and you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you are the commodity. So get all you can out of this recruitment. So Bob taking these visits doesn't upset me, but that's a kid who I follow a lot of these kids. I don't see a lot of FSU talk on his Twitter page. When he first committed, he did. He's kind of quieted down. But guys like Sapp and these other guys, they routinely, you know, talk about Florida State. So Ball could be on the lookout. But again, I think any decommits on the offensive line shouldn't surprise anyone because FSU is going to have a few guys here. Defensive back, Earl Little Jr., I think that's all Alabama, but I know Florida State's still in contact. But I think that's all Alabama. Nick Cole is a Georgia kid, if I'm not mistaken, could be a very important or very good one to watch. I believe he's a 4-star DB out of Georgia. So you compare him with Travis Hunter and Sam McCall, you got yourself a solid secondary. And he's probably looking like the most realistic target in that DB room because you didn't get Everett. Again, we talked about Earl Little being mostly Alabama. And then Kamari Wilson, everybody's thinking he's a Georgia guy. So, I mean, that's another guy they're still in the mix for, but we'll see there. Basaint, despite throwing down to you, I still think Basaint is a Miami get. Joseph and Randy Shannon has made that recruitment interesting, though. Just to keep an eye on that. And then there's another linebacker by the name of Daniel Martin. He is a Georgia kid as well. I think Lightsley just committed to Florida today or this weekend. So I put him on the paper, but I think EJ Lightsley's off the board. And then there's another Devin Smith, another linebacker. Then, of course, we got Marvin Jones Jr., Nigel Kelly. He's a tough one. I still say mom loves Miami. So when I think about Kelly, I just think mom loves Miami. So I just really look at Nigel Leak as a Miami kid. And then the newest guy on the board, he's a USC commit out of Georgia, Mikal Williams, 5-star defensive lineman out of Georgia, who's committed to USC, but he was on FSU's campus this past week. Said he loved it. Said FSU gave him a lot of things to think about. Said FSU pulled out all the stops. I'm going to tell you right now, I think if FSU can win some games, that recruitment becomes interesting. I wouldn't get too excited about it right now, but I believe that's a name to watch out for. Does he really want to go all the way from Georgia to Southern California, or would he want to stay? Again, and I don't know much about the kid, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's a Georgia native or if he just plays football over there. I got to do more research on him, and if anybody knows, they can definitely speak on it. But if he's a Georgia native, does he really want to go over it all the way, 4,000 miles or however many miles it is to California? Or do you just want to go a little bit down south to Tallahassee? So those are all the interesting, or the guys that FSU is kind of still in the running for when we talk about recruitment going in the fall. Let's see what people are talking about in the chat. We got to get them in the house and then start the development process. I can't judge a kid's future based off what he's doing against other high schoolers. I want to see Hunter at wide receiver. His frame is too skinny to be on the defensive side. I don't agree with that. That's just me. Don't agree with that at all. Couldn't imagine Hunter coming to FSU as the number one cornerback and not playing DB, because it's not going to happen. He's going to be a DB. I know everybody's infatuated with his wide receiver skills. The man's going to be a DB. I promise you. If Hunter is primary DB, then I don't want to see him on offense at all. He should pick one position. He will eventually. I do think they're going to flirt with them, especially that freshman year. They're going to flirt with it a little bit because he's dynamic, and you want to get his hands on the ball and see what he can do. What other running back targets are we after? Already answered that just now, so I hope you were listening, Perry. Who's our starting quarterback? Y'all still asking that question? Anybody want to answer that question for Gabriel? Because I don't think it's a question. 56 people watching. Hit the like button. Shout out to No Blooded. We got 56 in the building, and I need 50. I don't know how I got 59. I got 59 in here, actually, and 34 likes. Y'all don't like me or something? Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. If Hunter is all that, then unretired jersey number 2. So you bring up an interesting point, Derek. And I've said this not on here, but I've said this in other conversations I've had with like friends and stuff. So I'll put it out there now. I think FSU should unretire number 2. But no freshman should ever wear that number. I think they should use that number 2 jersey and that number 9. But that's a different discussion. But they should use that number 2 jersey as a way to, you got to earn that jersey. Number 2's got to be earned. Like I believe other schools do that with other jersey numbers. That number 2, they should unretire that jersey, and they should use it as an incentive to be earned. So if you're a DB wearing that number 2, you know what's up. So I agree with you. They should unretire it, but it should never be worn by a freshman. I don't care how highly rated he is or how good he is, because he's got to earn it at the end of the day. You only earn that on a college football field. If the rest of the staff and recruit like Coach Atkins. 2 crystal balls for Javonte Brown going to Oklahoma. Yep. We are going to have to pay Atkins to keep him. From what I heard, I don't know if it was the Nolecast. I was listening to like the Nolecast recently. It might have been the Nolecast. They said they've already worked out an extension with Atkins, from what I've heard. If you haven't listened to that episode, I still do listen to other people, obviously. I think the Nolecast kind of, implemented, but they kind of like reference that. I think FSU has worked out an extension with him already. The rest of the staff needs to take a page out of Coach Atkins and recruit. I think we got some good recruiters. Coach JPP, Coach Yak. Now Coach Yak is recruiting Louisiana well. I would like to see him recruit his actual position a little better. Coach Woodson, you can't knock anything he's doing. And as much as I don't like the way the receivers play on Saturdays, Dugans has always been a fairly good recruiter. Notre Dame is still a clear-cut road to favorites against Florida State. Of course they are. There's nothing Florida State has shown for them not to be clear-cut favorites. So don't matter to me, though. I'm telling you, I got a feeling. I got an itch. We're going to shock people Labor Day. Sup with Dustin Hill? Nothing. And I don't think that will be resolved this. I don't know. I've said it before. I don't. It would not shock me if we never saw Dustin Hill wear the uniform. I'd be more surprised if he eventually actually came up to the team than I would be surprised if he never showed up. Fuller needs to go. Where's the link to join the tribe? Should be on the main channel page. If you get on your computer, I don't know if you can join from your phone. But if you get on your computer, you can join from there. Anybody can help DF out if they know exactly how to do it. Matter of fact, I'm behind. DF already done figured it out. He already done figured it.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
Hold on. People need to start tripping about McCall's visit to Gainesville. It was just a visit. McCall already tweeted. If you didn't see that, he already kind of deaded those rumors. My personal opinion, McCall went because he is he plays football in Lakeland. If you don't know the relationship with Lakeland and Gainesville, research it. And he has the Gators have Glover as a target. They have the 5-star. I forget his name off the top of my head. It's like McCain or something like that. 5-star for 2023. They've got him in the fold. The Gators are trying to recruit him. I think he just went with some friends to Gainesville and had fun. But those videos Mullen put out, I'm not worried one bit. I'm not worried in the slightest. As a matter of fact, let me rant on Dan Mullen right now. Hold on. Let me take a sip. Let me take a sip. Like I said, McCall kind of already dead at that. I am not worried about UF, not even 0.01%. I fully believe that. I do not believe UF's even legitimately in the conversation for McCall. There's only 2 schools there's really only one that I'm really worried about, and that's obviously Bama, because everything I hear is mom loves it. And Unc coaches at South Carolina. So that's, keep an eye out on that. And South Carolina just had a DB drafted in the top 10. So keep an eye out on South Carolina. But I'm not worried about Florida, man. I honestly am not. I could be proven wrong. Again, this is just my intuition. I have no facts to back anything I say up. I just get on YouTube and talk. But as long as Dan Mullen is coaching that team, I hope they keep Dan Mullen forever. I've said this before, and I'll repeat it. Dan Mullen is a good enough coach that Florida will win 8, 9. They'll get their occasional 10-win seasons. They'll be a good on-field product. But when it comes to recruiting the elite players, I'm not worried about Mullen for a minute. When I say cringe, cornball, he is the definition of that. I'm okay with the Gators being good on the field because that's just going to make us look better. Nobody wants to see Florida and Florida State not be good. Like I say this about Miami too. I want all those teams to be good so when we play, those make memories. So I want to see those teams be good. But Dan Mullen doesn't even scare me in the slightest. And I'm saying this because FSU, let's speak on it. We have our own corny dude on the staff, but our corny dude is genuine. Our corny dude is a genuine dude. Meaning, when Kenny Dillingham, that's who I'm talking about, when he does something corny, whether it be on Twitter and social media or recruiting on the trail recruiting, we've seen videos. I've seen videos. When he does something corny, it feels right. Kenny Dillingham isn't fake, in my opinion, when I look at him. Kenny Dillingham is what he is. I much rather deal with the person. Let's just break it all the way down. Let's just keep it real. Kenny Dillingham's a corny white dude, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a corny white dude, and I think the kids see that. Let's just keep it 100. You're recruiting most of these D1 schools are probably 80, 90% black, if we're being honest. That's your target as these coaches. That's your target, young black athletes, if we're just being real. He's recruiting, they rather deal with the Kenny Dillingham because even though he's corny and goofy, it comes off as genuine, as that's just his personality. When Dan Mullen tries this stuff, Dan Mullen is trying to be cool, and it's funny, but when I watch it, I'm like, ugh. Dan Mullen is trying to be cool. Dan Mullen is like, and we've all had this at a job or in school. Dan Mullen, and again, my brothers will understand what I'm saying. Dan Mullen is the guy that you ever met a white dude for the first time, and instead of him greeting you like a person, yo, what's up, homie? What's up, dog? And you like, bro, all you got to say is, hey, how you doing? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about because we've all met one. Hell, we've all probably met 10 of them. They just can't say, hey, man, nice to meet you. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing? What's up, homie? Are you serious? That is Dan Mullen. Fake, phony as hell. That's Dan Mullen. Instead of Dan Mullen being himself, he does try to do these videos where he's being cool. That's the corny I don't like. I can rock with Kenny Dillingham. I can't rock with Dan Mullen. Probably went on a little bit too long on that, but I had to get that off my chest. What's good, Antonio? I'm a Florida fan, and it's not real with McCall. No, BB keeping it real. Thanks, BB. Thank you. Rose, I thought you already was a member. Why is it saying you're a new member? I believe our wide receiver group steps up big this year with better QB play. Larry Woodson says, what up? What's up, Larry? Terrence says, I like it. LSU do it with number 7. There you go. UF do it with number 1. I don't think Dion would be okay with it, though. Dion coaches Jacksonville State, Terrence. At this point, Dion's allowed to go coach and represent other universities, but Florida State can't use number 2 to emphasize, to encourage, I guess, or whatever the case, or reward. Whatever. The world is hoping it's Milton, but I see JT shocking us. I don't see it, though. And if whatever. Well, it's going to be Milton. It's going to be Milton. Did you see Travis? I did see that video, and Travis Hunter kind of made McCall look a little silly there, Perry. No T2Y in the building. What's up, big dog? Good to see you. Always love seeing the second biggest FSU YouTuber out there in the building. Not only Labor Day, but FSU will shock the world when we beat Clemson and Miami. FSU better get that linebacker from Miami Central. That would be a shocker. Hennessy and apple juice with the red bone that lives in my a red bone pit or something else. What we talking about? Chill out, Polk. BB, I'm just being honest when it comes to that damn Mullen stuff. I'm sorry. And I love you, BB. You always in here. You a Gator fan, but you're always in here showing love. But somebody tell me I'm lying about anything I just said about Dan. Dan Mullen is an idiot. Mullen is a clown. Florida State makes Ty Lockwood's top 4. I think he's a tight end for next year, correct, Project Dynasty? I don't really look ahead when it comes. I know we recently got Parsons. If you know me and kind of how I operate, I don't get too excited about years in advance. I just pay attention on what we got going on in the now. Take sip, bring it. Let's go Mullen rant. Okay. I'm a little behind on the chat. So Tony Cleveland in the building. Guffey Mullins, how many wins do we get this season? I say 8 minimum. That's just my opinion. You right, Polk, and I'm a Gator. Irv is laughing. Let me catch up in the chat a little bit. Let me catch up. Samari Roll, war number 2. He can coach it. He can coach his ass off. If that's what you meant to say, BB. I said I 100% agree with you on that. He can coach his ass off. Dion can get over himself. Mint on that QB. They're going to have a special packages for Travis. I was just an A63 member, so okay. So shout out to Rose for upgrading to the tribal chief. And Hunter said he wants to play DB on McFadden. Yeah, that's what he said. If you listen to him on McFadden's podcast, he said he wants to play both, but he says he knows that he's primarily a DB and he understands that. And yeah, okay. So I'm all caught up in the chat. Awesome. 57 people in here. It keeps fluctuating from about 58 to I've seen as much as 65 in here, man. So hit the like button if you haven't licked. Let me check these likes. We had 50 some in here and only had 30 likes. So y'all gotta have to fix that. Let me see where we at now. Right now we got 60 watching and 45 likes. Okay. I need at least 60 likes. Come on. Likes and sharing the videos, man. That's the best way to support me. Anything extra as far as donations or joining the team, that's all love. And if you didn't see the intro video, y'all saw the logo and tell me what y'all think. Did y'all like that logo I had at the end? Again, that's not even a finished product. There's more to it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to fit 60 people in here. I'm going to throw it up on the screen real quick so y'all can see what I'm talking about. That. Oh, no. Why'd you do that? Let's get.
I'm going to either win 380.
Shut up. There we go. What y'all think? God, why does it keep doing that? Okay, maybe I just got to hold it there. All right. Let me get Derek Neal's comment out here so people can actually see it. Let me remove the banner. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about the logo? And again, that's not a finished product. I told you guys I had some stuff coming and all this stuff is still in the works. T-shirt. Bro, I got stuff. I'm telling you. What do y'all think, man? I like it. Shout out to my sister-in-law for drawing that up. And again, like I said, we got more stuff coming, man. So I like it a lot. But what do y'all think? Because y'all are the ones. I always come to you guys and y'all give y'all opinions on what y'all like or don't like. What do you guys think about that, man? So I'll just let y'all look at that for a little longer. But I think it's pretty solid. All right, let's go to the comments. How do I become a tribal chief? You gotta, somebody explain it to him. You gotta go join it, and then there's different tiers, just different levels of it, and it's all cheap. It's like $199, $299, and $399. Do you think fans will get to see a lot of the fall camp with the way COVID's going right now, Jen? I think they might. I would play it safe. I would just play it safe. Now, the governor of Florida says he is not. He doesn't seem to be standing down. DeSantis don't seem like he's standing down on this COVID stuff, despite all this kind of resurgence of it. I think maybe the intelligent decision for Norvell would be to play it safe. My opinion there. McCall got cooked in a destroying. Yeah, by T. I mean, if you're gonna get whooped, it's by T. Hunt. I think we good there. Yo, if we start season 2 and 3, woo, if we start season 2 and 3, that's bad business. So, is it worth continuing to play Milton? If Milton, or do we move on and play for the future? That's an interesting question. And that's a scenario that I don't think anybody wants to think about. I don't know. You got to look at the 2 and 3. I think you got to look at the 2 and 3. In that 2 and 3, that means you're telling me that you only were able to beat Jacksonville State and what? Maybe Louisville or something. You got to look at the 2 and 3. How did they play in the 2 and 3? Was the scores? Were we competitive? Like that type of deal. Tough question though. Good question too. Travis is playing wide receiver at these camps to impress the QBs to get in the FSU. We all know he's the next great FSU DB. The intro was great. Thank you. Dix looks like a monster. Yeah, if y'all didn't see that, Dix is a beast. Irv don't like it. Project Dynasty don't like it. Irv don't like it. Says need more work. It's not a finished product, but okay. Tony don't like it. No Blooded loves it. Darren likes it. I like it. Just get the Jimbo for it. The song isn't. I'm just talking about the logo itself. I give you shit, but I'm a big fan. Keep rocking. Too colorful. Well, okay. The colors aren't a part of. Let me put it back up here. So the colors are an effect that I put on the actual video. That actual picture that you're seeing is actually just black and white pencil drawing. I don't have any colors on it. I just put the colors on it for the video. So the colors aren't gonna the logo's not gonna look like that with the greens and the blue, like the splashing colors or whatever you call that. The colors aren't gonna look like that. It will be colors on it, but it won't look like that. That is just a video effect that you see. As a matter of fact, I can actually, let me see. I might just bring up just so y'all can see the actual picture of it. I don't know. Can I do that? Might not be able to. Let me see. Yeah, I can't do that on that. Maybe if I share the screen. But anyway, I can't. I'll figure that out later. Anyway, so the colors, Teacher White says it's too colorful. That's not actually a part of the logo. I just did that for the video sake. They kind of, I don't know, make it pop a little bit. But okay, if you guys don't like the color, that's fine because the colors aren't a part of it. I personally really like the logo. Thanks, Tyler. Dan video made Sam say, "Oh hell no." Wait, Hunter Cook McCall in that. Hunter, if you didn't see the one-on-one, Sam and Hunter went one-on-one, and yeah, Hunter made him look silly. Ray Fitty.
Yeah, get more money. Yeah, get more money. Yeah.
Love seeing your brand blossom. Logo looks great and glad to see. Thanks, Norville Central, a.k.a. the GOAT. Glad to see that you're getting some new members. Absolutely. This bro does not want Milton to play, does he? I don't think Zoe is big on Milton. It don't seem like he is. Kane Sniper, Bama with no doubt will be okay. Y'all talking about something else. Horton want catch and pass versus Hunter or McCall. The Noles need to play every game this season. That's that's a mentality right there, Todd Pope, that you just got to build. You got to treat every game like it's the last, right? Raymond says, I like it in the black and white. That's the original color, right? The black and white. Again, that color that y'all seeing on the screen was just that's just a video effect. I think McCall should play safety. He is. From what I understand, he's an athlete, but he's a safety. How do I feel about Milton? Let me take a sip. I think he's the best quarterback talent-wise as far as throwing the football that we've had since DeAndre Francois. That's how I feel about Mackenzie Milton. And as far as intellectually, he might be... What? No. I told you, Don. Don't. If you don't have kids, don't rush to have them. If you have them, love and cherish them so it'll keep you from wringing their neck. This isn't a toy. I don't think. I don't know what this is. I think it's like a washcloth, man. You coming on my stream in your dinosaur outfit, almost looking like a gator. What are you doing?
I don't like a gator.
You're not a gator. No gators. Here. See you later.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that too. Okay, go play.
Bye.
All right, where we at? Where we at? Hunter clowned old boy. You know, there's a Fox has like a heavyweight fight tonight. No like big names, some upcoming guys. Don't laugh at them. When you laugh at them, you encourage them. Talking about my kid. How you feel about the receiving corps going in the Notre Dame game? I'm glad we got Parchment. I'm gonna be very interested to see though who steps up and takes that number 2 role, Montre. A lot to be desired. I want to believe that obviously guys are going to step up and play fairly well, but of course we want to see it to believe it. I think they're going to use Cam a lot in the passing game. I'm interested to see how they use McDonald as well. Yeah, PBC on Fox. You like him better than Travis? Quarterback wise, yeah, I think Travis is obviously the better athlete. But quarterback wise, yes, absolutely. There's throws Milton can make that Travis just can't make. The tape says that. That's not in my opinion. The tape reflects that. Game, LOL. You gotta love him until you want to kill him. My wife wants a third, and I always thought, I'm done at 2. I'm not having no more. I hear UM is changing their color of the. Stop it. I'm not doing it. When the kids reach 11 and 12, they start to chill out a little. Just hang in there, though. I got my 8-year-old. My 8-year-old's already chill. She don't even bother me. But that little joker there, man. Cameron is another guy that looks like a monster. Green Bay, man, I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. How you been? And hopefully with those guys being in good shape, we can have less injuries than last year. And last year, Norvell went very deep into the roster because he had no choice. Because as you saw, mass exodus, they cut a lot of, you can call it dead weight, bad weight, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. They got a lot of guys out of here. So they dipped into the freshman pool. Guys that probably shouldn't have been playing were definitely playing. You think he does the same this year? I don't think he's going to need to do it as much as he did last year at all. Those freshmen that played last year are still freshmen. So technically, yeah, he's going to play a decent amount of freshmen because nobody lost a year of eligibility, but those are experienced college football players now. At certain positions, we might see more freshmen. For instance, first and foremost, I hope the best player plays, to be clear. I just hope the best players play, whether that's a freshman or a senior. I don't think you'll see, again, Kevin Knowles, Hunter Washington, Marion Cooper. If those guys are just the better players, then I think we'll see them. But I think they FSU's deep enough that you might not need to see a bunch of freshman DBs out there. Barring injury, don't expect to see like Estes on the offensive line. I think McClain will get more burn than Burrell. But if Burrell, and then on the defensive end, like don't expect to see George Wilson this year. I actually saw a full body picture of Patrick Payton running up the stairs. He looks a lot bigger, but it does look like some weight that needs to be toned up. Now he had a full shirt on, but I think they're kind of going with the process of fatten them up and then they're going to tone them up. So I don't know how much you'll really see a guy like Patrick Payton this year. I think they'll play a decent amount of freshmen. Hopefully, we're not too freshman heavy. I love the receiving group is going to be awesome. Did you see LeBourne is back? I think he's just getting his degree, but I did see that, Tyler. Yeah, I'm not big on Milton because transfer QBs never work out for FSU. They took the wrong ones. This is off topic, but when we took Everett Golson, I didn't have a channel then. I was of the belief FSU should have let Sean McGuire just play that year. That was my personal opinion. Everett Golson did nothing that Sean McGuire couldn't have did. I think FSU would have been better off with Sean McGuire. Terrence says I'm wrong. Am I wrong to not be excited about this year at all? I'm excited for every football year. That's just me. But you don't like Mike Norvell, so of course you wouldn't be excited. The Noles have a lot of weapons to use on offense. Do you guys think next year Hunter starts year one and game one? He'll definitely be in rotation. Does he flat out start? Be interesting. I think McClain will break out first game. Yes, Hunter will be on the field day one. We are going to have a ton of experience in a few years. You rather have Travis? If so, why? He can't throw. LeBourne was my favorite, man. I hated that loss. While Willie Kodak, Peyton needed to get up to 220. They show you that like 230 something right now. But again, I think it's weight that needs to be worked on. I thought EG played lights out for us. EG. Who the hell is EG? I'm probably drawing a blank. Who's EG Green Bay? Polk, explain the difference between Storms and Darian Jones. Why couldn't Storms get them in shape? Also, I never liked Vic. You don't think Storms is getting them in shape? I think we should give LeBourne another shot. Whoosh. I said I don't like your favorite coach. He ain't my favorite coach. But I know you don't like him. McClain will have 6 receptions. Well, damn. Big expectations for the young man. Game one. If he's doing that game one, you're talking. I can see Parchment with that. I don't know about McClain, but I can see Parchment with that. I don't know anything about Notre Dame secondary. But I can see Parchment with those type of numbers. I wasn't a fan of Everett Golson. They need to be. They need to be. If you're watching this, come on. I'm sponsored by nobody, but I'll take it. I think Travis can improve. Just look at what he did with the few starts he had. He can definitely improve, but why not improve under a guy with some experience, some legit college experience? What, boy? You put it back. Go ask Andre to put it on. Well, I don't want to put it on. And your big head's in my screen.
I want to tell
you. One day when you get old enough, we're going to throw hands. What? Yeah, we're going to throw hands. And put boxing gloves on, though. But I'm going to let you know how I feel. I think Travis can improve. Okay, sorry. This kid, man. Larry Bourne is getting out of shape and he done got fat. Polk, why don't you like Domino's? Domino's is all right. I would take Pizza Hut over all of it. But all of those fast food pizza chains are honestly garbage. Pizza is so much better when you get it from like a mom and pop shop. We ain't talked too much about Dick's, but I did show that picture of Dick's on my intro. Matter of fact, yeah, people talking about Coach Storms, and I mean, that's Steven Dick's, guys. Now, no homo, but good God. Goodness gracious. That is Steven Dick's. Now, in this particular picture, you can't see it, but if you zoom into some of those guys in the back, man, Storms is doing something right out there. Storms is doing something right. But Dix looks like I don't even know. I don't know if Dix looks more like a bodybuilder than a football player. Let's see if we can put it on the field, though. Let's see if we can put it on the field. But if people talking about stepping off the bus, good God. Just think, if y'all kept Willie, y'all would have had King right now. Yeah. Don't need King. We're good on King. Y'all can have King. King's good for what Lashley does. We had a guy like King and Jordan Travis, and Willie didn't play him. Take it for what it's worth. Anyway, not even going to get on Willie. I agree about the pizza. Bro was just a freshman. It's good, man. It's good. You late, we early.
Daddy, look another pizza. Look.
What is that?
The pizza.
Okay, it's a piece of pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, go play with it. Kid don't want to leave me alone. He didn't bother me the whole day. Laybourne is enrolled at Florida State this summer. He's set to get his graduate in December. He told me that he will not be playing football at FSU and will be transferring elsewhere when he graduates. That's what I talked about. Laybourne was just getting his degree. That's it. Dix is a beast, looking Landry-esque. Mom and pop pieces are definitely the best. Travis is a 3 years going to be deadly for us. Screenshot this message. I mean, next year is going to be his to lose. If AJ Duffy can come in next year and beat him out, I mean, but next year is going to be his to lose. Thanks for the update, Norville Central. That's what Norville Central does. It gives us the updates. Mr. Polk. I'm just Polk, bro. Or ALO. Or the goddamn truth, whatever you want to call me. Sorry, but will you outgrow taller than you? Good luck with the block. Oh, yeah, he's probably going to be bigger than me. And he needs to be. He needs to be. He sleep. Shout out to the nutrition staff as well. Smile, you're on candid camera. Travis transferring after this year. Remember, y'all got the kid, IMG kid coming in. Well, for now anyway. Oh, we got him. Y'all talked about McCall. We talked about McCall shutting down UF. Yeah, we talked about that, man. So now I want to talk about the fall position battles and kind of what we can look forward to going into the fall camp. And just because I had this thought, could Dix play on the D line? I know he looks like he is a man beast, but they only weighs in at like 130 something pounds. So no, it's not an edge rusher or anything like that. Fall position battles. We've talked a little bit about the quarterback, so we'll hop on the quarterback. It will be a battle for the media sake of it. Again, when I talk, did I say 130? I meant 230, but y'all know what I meant. He's like 230, not 130. Obviously, he's not 130. To me, it's not really. It'd be a battle for the media. The media, obviously, FSU took two quarterbacks to the ACC Media Day. Norvell has been very Norvell's been very upfront about or I won't know, I won't say upfront, but he's been very, this is a QB competition. Jermaine Johnson called both guys QB1. So everybody's kind of playing their part on the QB1 talk. I think everybody kind of knows better, in my opinion. There will be a competition. I believe Milton will win it when it's all said and done. Because I don't think it's much of a competition. That's just me. Again, this isn't a knock on Travis. I just go by the sample sizes of what I see. Spring ball, all the reports coming out of spring was Tate Rodemaker was playing better than Mackenzie Milton, and Jordan Travis was playing better than Mackenzie Milton. And then the spring game happened. Tate Rodemaker may have been the worst thing I had ever seen, and Jordan Travis was missing wide open balls, and Milton was dropping dimes. Travis missed a wide open pass to Cam McDonald, where if he just drops it in there, that's about a 30-yard gain. Like basic passes that if you're the starting quarterback, you need to make those, Milton goes up the field, splits the safeties over Jay and Brandon Gant, hits a true freshman, hits Malik McLean with Akeem Dent, actually in great coverage, but he puts the ball where McLean's able to stretch out and make the play, beats Brian Robinson, doesn't necessarily even beat Jamie Robinson on the out route. Milton puts the ball in a place where only Robinson could have made a play on the ball. Only Brian Robinson could have made a play on that ball and gets a touchdown. The lone pass that everybody remembers from Jordan Travis was a busted defensive play where I broke it down when it happened, where the defender ran into the ref, I believe, or they ran into another defender, and it was a busted play. It wasn't. Travis didn't even hit the guy that play was designed for, and that play was designed for Keyshawn Helton, who had Brandon Gannon one-on-one, and he actually had him beat. So again, if I'm just looking at the tape and evaluating the play of the quarterbacks and who's hitting what plays, who's throwing receivers open, it's really not a debate. But again, I'll let you guys sit here and tell me why it should be Jordan Travis. That's what we're here for, to debate the fall position battles. Quarterback, Milton all the way. It's really not a debate. Again, I just broke down those plays off the top of my head. You guys tell me you see anything different than I see. You think we got a chance at Skinner? I think we're in a good position for both. I think when you start talking about these higher rated kids, when you start talking about Skinner, when you start talking about Coleman, even Marvin Jones Jr., even a guy like Pritchett, they want to see what FSU looks like on field. I think FSU's in a good position for all of those kids. Take that boy swimming for a couple of hours and he'll sleep from sundown to sunup. Works every time. Swimming wears them out. They did all that swimming in Florida. The swimming does wear them out, Wayne. I got Travis starting game 1. Okay. Yeah, didn't Skinner just transfer to IMG or something? We're in a real good place for Skinner. Travis will definitely have packages. Ain't no way in hell Milton ain't starting. Norvell is going to steal Basaint from Paradise. You heard it here. Okay, DF, I hear you. I'm gonna say this again. Milton's leg was broke, not his arm. 100. How about that back shoulder throw to Milton threw for the TD? If it was the 1980s, OU wishbone. Oh yeah, Travis, but not now. I like him, much respect, but he's missing the passing skills. Polk stopping. Milton misses pass. I didn't say he didn't miss passes. Of course, every quarterback missed passes. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes missed passes. Didn't say he didn't miss passes. The greats miss passes. I'm saying in a controlled environment, in a scrimmage, a glorified scrimmage game, where the defense really can't even rush the passer, and Travis had time to drop ball, to set his feet and make passes, what did he do? And what did Milton do? That's all I'm saying. I didn't say nobody that has missed passes. That one red zone trip they had, I thought Milton was late on the touchdown pass that was batted away that he threw to Pookie. I thought Milton was a little late on that, and that's why it wasn't a touchdown. People miss passes, bro. Have you ever seen, again, Jordan Travis make a throw like he made to Brian Robinson on the out route to the pylon in the end zone where he beat Jamie Robinson, and he put it in a perfect spot? You ever seen Travis make that throw? And it was from the opposite hash of the field. Go back and watch it. That wasn't an easy throw to make. That was an NFL caliber throw. He threw it from the hash to the pylon, touchdown. You ever seen Travis make a throw like that? No. You ever seen Travis make a throw where he split the two safeties over the top? And you ever seen Travis make a throw like he did, like Milton did to Malik McClain on the sideline where Akeem Dent was actually in great position? Those three passes alone. You tell me if you can show me any, or tell me or show me any time Travis made any throws like that, then we can start having a conversation. If the passing game improves, the running game will be deadly. All right, Polk. So if Travis outplays Milton this fall, Milton should still start. Again, I don't give a damn what the beat writers tell you in fall. The beat writer said in spring, Travis was the best quarterback, and in the spring game, that was not the case. Milton's going to start. I don't care what they do in practice. You know who else was a notorious bad practice player? Jameis Winston. And I'm not saying Mackenzie Milton's Jameis Winston. Jimbo has said it. Other people who have watched FSU's practices when Winston was there said Winston wasn't the greatest practice guy. I remember in the Pitt game, Jameis Winston's first game, they said Jameis Winston couldn't complete a pass in practice, and he went out there, and I think Jameis Winston threw 2 incompletions that game. Some guys just shine when the lights come on, bro. I don't care how he's practicing. He's out there putting in the effort to practice is what I care about. But not everybody, there's great practice players who don't show up on the field, and there's guys who are beasts on the practice fields, and you wonder where the hell they are on game day. A full off season makes a ton of difference. Speed kills. Douglas and the other kid. I always sleep on Ja'Kai. I think Ja'Kai might have a bit to say this year. I think Ja'Kai Douglas definitely might have a bit to say this year, Tony. No, Polk. I meant he doesn't have the same passing skills. Okay, I got you. Can Travis even throw? Of course he can throw. Travis surprised me last year with some of his throws. I'm not going to say he can't throw. I think that was a disgusting lie about Jordan Travis that he couldn't throw. And a lot of that came, hate to say it, from the Willie Taggart camp. Remember, Willie Taggart had Jordan Travis when he was throwing out Hornibrook and Blackman. He had Jordan Travis the whole time, and he didn't play him. To be clear, let's not make this a Mike Norvell thing, because some of y'all's favorite coach didn't play him either. With all that running ability, we didn't see Jordan Travis until Kendall Briles took over the offense after Willie got fired. First game after Willie gets fired, Kendall Briles plays Jordan Travis. I don't think it was a surprise, but that's neither here nor there. I do think he can throw. He just can't throw like Milton. What about the transfer? I'm so happy they got him. I think Marcus Cushing adds a legit bookend to Jermaine Johnson. I really do. I think you got 2 speed rushers on the edge. And Jermaine Johnson might be a little bit more versatile in terms of stopping the run. But Cushing said in an interview where he's working on being a better run defender as well. I'm excited. Jameis Winston always got through out of practice. I know. Jimbo talking about throwing him out of practices and all that stuff. I know. Heisman National Championship. And we worried about what a guy does in spring practice or fall practice. The man is undefeated in his last 25 starts, and that has 2 different coaching staffs. Milton will be the starter. I'm glad somebody's saying it, Wayne. I get we want to be loyal to Jordan Travis. I like Jordan Travis. Let's not make it seem like I'm saying Travis is garbage. But we're talking about playing quarterback. Not athlete at quarterback. We're talking about playing quarterback. There's a difference. I think we spent enough time on a quarterback conversation. We could probably go another hour on quarterbacks, but I want to get to some other positions that are going to be, that are going to be up for grabs. Tony says, I agree with you 100%. I honestly get concerned if Travis started. I would too. Then we're going to close out on this one, but I would too. If we wasted all that time bringing first of all, if Jordan Travis started, why even bring in Mackenzie Milton? You were better off signing a high school kid. If you're going to start Jordan Travis, you were better off letting Mackenzie Milton go elsewhere. And I don't care if it was a 3-star kid out of North Dakota. You were better off bringing in a high school kid and coaching him and developing him, because at least you can get something out of him potentially in the future and just let Jordan Travis play this year. It makes no sense to bring in Milton and then sit him on the bench. From a number standpoint, you were better off recruiting a high school kid. And that I will end the quarterback conversation on that. Offensive line. I think that offensive line is up for grabs, people. I recently did the episode of The Hangover about my depth chart. When I look back on it, I think that that offensive line depth chart, I think I might have gotten it completely wrong. Listen, all I know from the spring game is number 11 going to be special. Oh yeah, he's going to be special. I agree with you there. I haven't seen Tyler Estes. I haven't seen any Tyler Estes updates. What up, John White? Offensive line, man. When I did my depth chart, I think I had Love Taylor at left tackle, Lucas, who at this point, a couple weeks later, I probably would actually take Lucas out of my starting lineup. Zoe wants to we'll do running backs next. I want to hit the offensive line right now, but we're going to do running backs next. I had Lucas, center, I had Gibbons. Of the other guard, I had Bavion, and then I had Robert Scott. At this point, and I was just thinking about this the other day to myself. And you guys, let's get in the same conversation we had about the quarterbacks. Y'all have that same energy for the fat boys. I'm actually thinking, and people, y'all can tell me I'm crazy. I'm thinking of Robert Scott at left tackle, dropping Love Taylor in the guard. Where I get torn at is, do I want Bavion at center? I don't think so. But Gibbons is put on, I think they said Gibbons is up to 320 something. I don't know if they're setting him up to be a guard or if they're going to keep him at that center. I would say Robert Scott, Love Taylor, Gibbons at center, Bavion at the other guard, and Brady Scott. I would put Brady Scott at right tackle just to start the season and just to see how he played. I think we're kind of sleeping on Brady Scott, man. If you're telling me I can get an offensive line with redshirt junior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior, and a freshman / sophomore and Robert Scott, I think I want that. I think I want that. I would rather put, I don't know, man. Like when I think about it, Robert Scott left tackle, Love Taylor left guard. I know people love some Maurice Smith. I just don't know if he's ready to be the full-time starter. Gibbons, Bavion, Brady Scott. What do y'all think? Am I tripping? I don't know. Zoe wants to talk running backs. We're going to talk about them. I promise we're going to talk about them. I think our O-line is going to be special. All right, Tony, what do you think? What do you think about the offensive line then, Tony? because you still got a guy like Darius Washington. You still have Rod Orr. Again, Maurice Smith, Estes. These are all on the second team type of guys. What do y'all think, man? That is a gross offensive line combo. I don't know if you mean gross in a good or bad way. Your depth is something else. Here, y'all. Wasn't Smith a start? Maurice Smith was the starter last year. Honestly, I'd be a lot more high on Maurice Smith if he would have gained 10 pounds this offseason. If Maurice Smith was listed at 285 instead of 275, I'd be more high on Maurice Smith. And again, I just go by the way Atkins is recruiting the position. He's recruiting big kids, man. He's recruiting big bodies. I just think they are trying to get a little bit more developed into Maurice Smith. And I don't want to put Bavion back at center. So I put Bavion at a guard spot. I put Love Taylor at the other guard spot because I think that's where Love Taylor played his best football. I would love for Robert Scott to play. Why not try him out at left tackle? The dude was really a freshman All-American at right tackle. Maybe we move him to the left, see how he holds up, and give a guy like Brady Scott a chance at the right tackle. And if Brady Scott can't get it done, maybe Darius Washington can. I kind of think that's your best lineup, but that's just kind of me. That's just kind of me. Love Taylor, Johnson, Gibbons, Lucas. So you still want to keep Lucas on the starting line. I get it. 340 just worries me. That's what's making me change my mind on Lucas. When you say a guy who's played majority of his career in like the 320 range and he's gained 20 pounds, and he's 340 something odd pounds, and you think he's going to be able to pull and move the same way, I'm questioning it. You know? That sounds good. No matter how it goes, we might have some quality depth. I think we do have quality depth. And Norvell does not like my O-line at all. Rose likes it. I'm not high on Lucas. Am I the only person that feels that way? I'm not high on the weight gain. I still think Lucas has a ton of untapped potential and talent. He's kind of a head case. But I'm not high on 340 pounds. Unless it's planned, and I don't see where it's planned at. I don't know where you plan to have a guy gain that kind of weight. I don't know. I hope we hear some chatter about Rod Orr in this fall camp. Can he be a legit backup? Does he push for playing time? Rose asks Norvell his 5. Love Taylor needs to stop doing the false start. Love Taylor wasn't the one. It was Bavion with the false starts. Todd. Love Taylor wasn't the one doing the false start. Brady Scott just looks different at 6'6", 327. That's what I'm saying. We shall see Gibbons at center. He's smart, intelligent, and that's why I think Gibbons should be a center, because he's smart, intelligent, and again makes the necessary calls. More experience than Maurice Smith at center. Maurice Smith can learn a lot from playing behind Gibbons. Lucas needs to let go of the ho-hos. I have always been a fan of Brady Scott. Who play offensive line get the wins. Atkins will have the best offensive line in the ACC in 2 years. Gibbons has 2 years of eligibility. Gibbons actually has 2 years of eligibility. So, yeah, if you're not high on my O-line, like, who would you put where and why? Like, again, right tackle, Brady Scott. Right guard, I would do Bavion. I would do Gibbons at center. I would do Love Taylor at left guard. And I think Robert Scott at left tackle. That gives you a big offensive line, man. Maybe you guys aren't too high on Brady. Norvell likes Darius Washington, Gibbons, Maurice Smith, Love Taylor, and Robert Scott. You see, here's my thing. I don't dislike anybody you named and where you put them. I don't think Bavion came back just to sit. And again, maybe Maurice Smith's size doesn't bother you. It bothers me. And Darius Washington is another guy who needs physical development. He's been injured, hasn't really been able to physically develop. Good player, but I've seen Darius Washington get blown up at that tackle position more times than I really want to. I would be more for this if you move Robert Scott to left tackle and threw Darius Washington at the right tackle. I'd be a little bit more for it. And again, I just think Maurice Smith, you gotta take him out. You got to take him out. Even though I think if you watch Maurice Smith tape, very good player. I just really think he needs the physical development. I don't know if when you're talking about protecting Mackenzie Milton, I don't know if you feel comfortable when you have other options of a 270-pound center freshman / sophomore. I get it, but you know what I mean? It's just me. Have you seen or heard anything about the DB from the UFC? We got Conor McGregor in the DB room. Who we got? Tyrone Woodley back there in the DB room, Green Bay. God damn. John Bones Jones. I mean, his brother does play football. Got John Bones Jones on the defensive line or DB room. You have to put Gibbons at center. I think Gibbons should be a center too. I think Gibbons should be a center. Where would we be without Atkins? Thank you, football gods. Gibbons has to help that O-line prepare for game 1. Can Lucas play center? I wouldn't. No. I don't know if Lucas has ever taken snaps. I don't know. If Smith could get to 300, if Smith could get to 290, bro, I'd be start him. If Smith could get to 290, I'd be all in on him. All 100% in on him. Cleveland says Gibbons has to be center. Here's my argument. If Babion didn't come back to sit, then what do you think Leonard Warner? Well, that's a little bit different. That is a little bit different. I agree with you about Warner. But Babion has a legit chance to play. I don't think Warner really does. Oh, with the dub donation. Shout out to Brian Walters in the building. Hold on before I read you. You get the P dub for the dub.
Yeah, get more money. Yeah, get more money. Yeah.
Brian Walters says, not the only vid showing SM getting killed. Oh, okay. Travis Hunter, not the only vid showing Sam McCall getting killed. Destroying on YouTube got a vid up showing Sam McCall getting beat bad 2 times by 2 random people. I'm a DM the vid on Twitter whenever you have to. Okay, I got you, Brian. Appreciate that. Who is our best tackle? I don't mind Scott at left tackle at all. I think as of right now, Scott's definitely your best tackle. No, Washington needs more development. I agree, Tony. That's me. I agree. I think Darius, not a bad player. Again, I think he's a good player. Needs to get stronger, though. Babion is a rotational guy to me. Not mad at that opinion. I think he played decent enough ball last year at that guard spot. If he can get the false starts under control, I'd be with Babion and as one of your starting guards. Tony said L. I would like to land a JUCO corner. I saw that. I agree with Montre. And Lucas has always played guard. Johnson has to be focused this offseason, getting in better shape and putting in work on off days. Saw it on Johnson has been focused. Saw it on Cam's. I follow Cam McDonald on his YouTube channel as well. P-Dub was robbed, but he damn sure was. We all know that. How many games do we look on defense before we cut bait with Fuller? We'll see how that defense look. DLT was a great tackle for us. Makes sense for him to stay at left. So again, if you guys go back, that he was my original left tackle. But if you check the grades on him, played his best football at guard. And if you look at the pro scouts on him, they project him as a guard. Love Taylor's in that year, right? If he's gonna be the NFL, this is it. Maybe you try him at guard to start. Notre Dame's a tough game, right? If we were playing Jacksonville State to start, then I think they might tweak some things on offensive line and see. The safe bet is probably Love Taylor at left tackle. The safe bet is probably my original offensive line that I had on my depth chart, if we're being honest. Because it's Notre Dame, do you really want to be experimenting with things, or do you want to go with what you kind of know? I just think that Love Taylor projects better at guard. Maybe Orr will surprise us. I would love for Orr to surprise us. We'll see. McCall is not a 5-star. I put him around 95 overall. Hell, I'd take that. I don't care. McCall's a damn good player, whether it's offense or defense. He's playing out of position probably as a corner, not, DB, free safety type. I think that's where McCall will shine. Playing the ball in the air. I think that's where Sam McCall will shine. Not everybody can play man up like that. McCall might be a better cover 3 type corner, better zone type or cover 2 type corner than an actual man on guy, right? Those guys still exist. Don't get too high. The 7-on-7 is all good. McCall's a damn good player. We're not going to pretend like he's not. What about McCall? George says, what about McCall? Sam McCall is a better prospect than anyone UM will land this cycle. And Notre Dame score prediction. I don't know yet. I'll get back to you on that one. All right. Zoe wanting to talk running backs. Let's do running backs. If we're done with the offensive line, again, that was my thing on the O-line. We're going to get the DBs. We're going to get the DBs. I just really don't want Darius Washington left tackle. So I agree. I don't, not yet. I don't want it. Let's get to running backs. I think the running back room is deep, but I don't really know if it's really a competition at running back. Now, I could be wrong there, right? I think the running back room is deep, but I don't know if I think everybody kind of knows their role. Who would you guys have be the starter? And I know who the popular pick is. Everybody is going to say Toafili to be the starter. And I'm not necessarily against it. I just think Corbin gives you a little bit of a better all-around game. Better all-around game. What do you guys think? I really don't think it's I know Zoe wanted to talk to running back room. I don't really think it's a big debate in the running back room, man. I think you start off with Corbin. Toafili, and to me, Toafili is like a perfect, at this point in Toafili's career, he's a perfect spell back. He's the perfect guy to get in there if you can wear the defense down a little bit. That defensive line's tired. Those linebackers, like Toafili's the perfect type of spell back, in my opinion. Corbin, to me, is number one. And I think the only person that will really even challenge Corbin, I think, would be DJ. I would not be shocked or surprised if DJ turned some heads in the fall camp and kind of competed with Corbin. But as of right now, I don't think Toafili needs to be the feature back. What do you guys think? Williams is a bruiser. Rose think Corbin gonna have over 1,000 this year. Bama's gonna bust not reading that. Toafili is too small to be a feature back. I don't know if he's too small, but I think at this point, I think he kind of adds more value, kind of like a spell back. That's just me though. Corbin's will have 100 total yards game one. Corbin will be the starter. Toafili will be the backup. Ward will surprise and be the third string, and Williams will be a goal line back. It will generally be a committee. I agree with the committee thing. I definitely think it would be a committee. I like Dark Horse Ward. I like Trayshawn Ward too. I saw a lot of Trayshawn Ward. I actually like him a lot. I like him a lot. That walk on that got put on scholarship could have a monster year. That's Trayshawn Ward. I like him. No Squad says Chris Thompson was small. Guy says, yeah, DJ is my dark horse. I think Corbin is better at pass pro, but put Toffoli and Ward are not far behind. And I like Corbin, but I see more explosive. Yeah, I agree with Akeem. Toffoli is definitely Toffoli probably has the highest upside of the running back room. No disagreeing there. And Toffoli definitely, again, and that's why I think you can use him in spots that will benefit or catch the defense slipping, and he can use that explosive. I do agree with Toffoli's the more explosive of the running backs that we got. I mean, obviously there is Corey Wren there, but we've yet to see Corey Wren take any snaps between the tackles. Everything they did in the spring with him was trying to put him on the perimeter and catch screen passes and passes to the flats. We've yet to see Corey Wren take a handoff and try to go up, go between the tackles. I don't know if he can do that. Our offensive coordinator recruited Williams at Auburn. Ward, my dark horse. I remember somebody said Toffoli would never touch the field at FSU. Don't know who said that, Carrie, but it definitely wasn't on this channel. Definitely wasn't over here. Toffoli need to gain muscle. He definitely needs to get a little bigger. Definitely needs to get bigger and stronger to be an every down back. No disagreement from you there. See that running back conversation, that quarterback conversation was a little bit heated. The running backs and the O-line, not so much. Everybody's pretty much on the same place. A lot of people, they think Wren, they think Toffoli has the best potential. A lot of people think Jashawn Corbin will be the de facto number one until someone can take that spot from him. And Tony says Corey Wren will be a wide out. I think they're just going to try to find ways to give him the ball. I definitely believe that. Would you take Webb back? No, because we got DJ. I don't know if Webb brings you anything that the guys on the roster right now don't already bring. No disrespect to him, but if Wren stays, we don't take this DJ Williams, right? So I don't. Webb doesn't give you anything that the guys we have don't give you. Norvell's running backs are usually great receivers, flex. Yes, they are. He likes to use his running backs in that mold. QB, O-line, running back. Wide receiver, not really a position battle there going into the fall. Again, I think Parchment is number one. No questions there. I do think there's a battle for number two in the slot and, those other spots. As we move on to the wide receiver position, Parchment number one, but the question is who can challenge or who can take the reins and be the number two guy? Who can be the number three guy? Norvell doesn't. What Norvell runs is what they run in the NFL. The traditional pro style that Jimbo Fisher used to run, I would even argue that they don't even run that in the NFL anymore. Again, the fullback is a dead position it's not even being ran in the NFL at this point. What Norvell runs is a spread system with a lot of pro style principles and sets. So what we run is a lot more akin to what they're actually running in the NFL as of right now. And again, those wide receivers, man, again, I don't really know if there's really a battle. I do think there's a battle for that number two spot. Is it Brian Robinson? I kind of got my money on Brian Robinson. I want to see Brian Robinson as a number two. Is it Brian Robinson? Can Malik McClain take the number two spot? And Brian Robinson playing the slot? I don't know if Brian Robinson's really a slot receiver. I would love to get Brian Robinson 2, Parchment 1, and we can try some other things out, that 3 spot or whatever the case. But to me, the battle's at number 2. I'll take Brian Robinson right now, but I'm not going to pretend like Malik McClain won't have anything to say about that. I think Malik McClain will have a lot to say about Malik McClain. I mean, I'm not going to completely sleep on Ontario Wilson, but Portier might have a lot to say about who's number 2. There's going to be that number 2 spot is going to be a battle. The number 1 spot for me, not so much. I don't know what you guys think about that. Vince Williams retired. I remember thinking Carlos was going to be a better pro prospect. He could have been if he, there's things that happen there. I agree with Tyler. Philly is too small to be the feature back. Charger and 49ers only one running the fullbacks. That boy Ward is tough. He got something. something. Oh, something. Okay. That's what you meant. Something. He got something to prove. I like Ward. By the way, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button as we continue to roll on here. I'm no time limit on tonight's show. We just rocking with the punches, and we got up to 60 likes. So y'all did your job. We doing the damn thing around here. But yeah, we talking about these wide receivers now. Again, I don't think number 1's up for a debate. I do think that's too. Who do y'all want to see line up opposite of Andrew Parchment? Is it Brian Robinson? I'm leaning towards Brian Robinson. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all got I know Pookie's a fan favorite. A lot of people still have faith that Pookie Wilson, Ontario Wilson, is gonna show up. Do y'all got Pookie as number 2? Is Malik McClain gonna come in as a true freshman and be your number 2? Y'all let me know. I got Brian Robinson with Portier as my dark horse. CJ, what's going on, my man? Hit the like button. It's free. Tell him again, CJ. Good to see you, bro. I ain't seen you over here in a minute, man. How you been? We're going to talk about linebacker, Bobby. Y'all be jumping the gun, man. Just, look, if you don't want to talk wide receiver, just tell me. Like, Polk, we don't give a damn about wide receiver. As a matter of fact, bump it. I'm not playing games no more. Y'all tell me. What do y'all want to talk about? After wide receiver, y'all want to talk linebacker, DB, DN. Y'all tell me what y'all want to talk about, because y'all be jumping the gun. I was gonna get the linebacker. We ain't even on the defensive side of the ball yet, and y'all talking about linebackers. Look, you think Emmett Wright's gonna start versus Notre Dame? We was gonna get there. Antonio says, do you think Laybourne would have been a higher ceiling? Yeah, I think Laybourne was a higher ceiling than Corbin. I absolutely do. Kerry thinks it's McClain. Pookie had another drop. Oh, yeah, didn't he? On an easy pass at that. Like a 5-yard pass in the flats or something. Like, yeah, he did. No squad. Zuki says, true. New King, what's up, man? I ignored your first couple comments because you was trying to come in here with the troll job. But he says, is Parsons really a number 1? Or is he just the best person for the job? We'll find out. He was a number 1 at Kansas, but that was Kansas. But as of right now, if you watch this team last year, we don't have a true number 1. So I do think Parchment is the de facto number 1. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Does McClain know the route tree? If not, then redshirt him. Bruh, with a guy that's 6'5", I don't even know the route tree. I think we talk too much about route trees, no squad. And no disrespect to you, but let me get him brought up a topic that done triggered me a little bit, so I'm gonna get on it. When a guy that was Jimbo's problem. That's why we didn't see Tamarion Terry as a freshman. That's why we didn't see guys like Kelvin Benjamin early. George Campbell. Some of the receivers Jimbo was able to recruit, because they didn't know the route tree. Sammy Watkins played 3 years in college football and was arguably the best receiver in college football all those 3 years, with the exception of his freshman year, because he had DeAndre Hopkins with him. And the man ran 2 routes his whole career, slants and goes. When you got a special guy, when you got an athlete, when you got 6'5", 200 pounds, you don't need to know the route tree. We're not in the 90s anymore, folks. You spread the ball so much now, you don't need to know the route tree. You need to get them in mismatches and exploit mismatches. Miss me with the route tree talk. But I still love you, Noel Squad. I'm going to come out of football retirement to help the wide receivers. Hey, John, they'll take you. It's a cluster, but I wouldn't sleep on Jordan Young. I'm stone cold unconscious on Jordan Young, and I've talked about that at length. I don't believe a damn thing from Jordan Young. Sorry, not sorry. Tyler wants to do linebackers next. All right. Montre says Pookie's his dark horse. I got it, man. Just maintain and keep up the good work. Hey, bro. CJ, you got to get back. We need to get back doing them late night streams, bro. We used to have fun on those. T2Y is here taking notes for his midday live, and he's going to steal your ideas, Polk, and call them Kane something watch. Wait, T2Y, you and DFB beefing or something? What's going on with y'all, man? B. Robinson, McLean, and Wilson. Besides Johnson, who else is on the other side? What are you talking about, Bobby? Johnson, who? We're not on the O-line no more unless you meant Robinson. No, it was because of the off-field issues. I agree 100%. Damn the route tree. Again, this isn't the NFL, bro. College, athlete on athlete. The hell with the route tree. I can go over a list of wide receivers that ain't know a damn about a route tree. Everybody doesn't have to be Devonta Smith. Shout out to him. He was great. But when you got a special athlete, you don't need the route tree, bro. Kelvin Benjamin was dropping passes. Hell, he was dropping passes that year he destroyed Florida. In that game, he dropped like 3 passes and still had like 150 yards or whatever it was he had. Kelvin Benjamin was always dropping passes. It doesn't matter. Put him in for every drop pass, he'd make a spectacular catch. Because he was 6'5", 240 pounds. And could run a 4.5. Nobody can do anything with that. Call me crazy. Who leads y'all in receptions? Either Parchment or just that quick. Like my brain just died on me. Either Parchment or the tight end. Oh my God. What is our tight end? Cam McDonald. Jesus Christ. Ren is a gadget guy. Let's get used to it. You need that route tree to be able to block. And contribute on special teams. Right. Guys, I just live in the Jimbo era, so that's why I say this. Yeah, that was one of Jimbo's problems when it came to receivers. FSU had guys like George Campbell on the roster. And some other guys, man. And he was running out Bobo Wilson, good player, don't get me wrong, but come on. Bobo Wilson was 5'8". Levante Whitfield was 5'8". You had a receiving core of Bobo Wilson, Levante Whitfield, and like Naquan Murray, who was 6 foot at the most. Because they could run routes. Nobody's game planning for anybody I just mentioned there. Levante Whitfield was a good returner, but he wasn't much for a receiver. And that's the same thing with Bobo. Like, I can go on and on, honestly, about the problems Jimbo had post Jameis Winston. I think Cam will be number 2 in receptions. New King will y'all give up 600? Just like Warren Thompson. He was the same. Don't get me started on Warren Thompson. Benjamin caught that jump pass from the Winston to win the Natty. That's all that matters. And that jump pass against Clemson. Cam. Yeah, man, the name just slipped me for some reason. Can we get the linebacker that Willie kicked off the team? He transferred to Kentucky. If you're talking about Green, who left FIU, did he go to Kentucky? That you talking about? Bomo and Kerbert were able to run past. When? Show me clips of them running past DBs. Those were like your 1 and 2 options at receiver at 5'8", 5'9". I don't know. Maybe my just thoughts on a wide receiver is a little different. Okay, linebackers. Let's do linebackers because linebackers is what y'all wanted to do next. Jaleel McRae, Rashard Green was special. I think he's the second best receiver we've ever had. And I don't even say that lightly because you got guys like Anquan, hell, Dugans. You got guys. Obviously, that guy that's above my shoulder, I say this every episode, that's the best we've ever had. But we've had some other guys. I think Rashard Green is the second best receiver we've ever had. Xavier Peters is the linebacker he's talking about. Oh, okay. Xavier Peters is looking for another college home right now. He transferred to Kentucky, only to transfer again. Yeah, he's trying to find him another D1 home. I value speed. If you value speed, you can say you value no squad. I'm not coming for you. But again, that same time that we're talking about, they had a guy on the roster named George Campbell, 6'4", ran a 4.3, and he didn't see the field. We had a guy named Tamarion Terry, 6'3" to 6'4", 4.4, didn't see the field. Jimbo didn't care about speed. He cared about the route tree. I could have put those two out there, and they could have did the exact same things, maybe better than Bobo and Kermit Whitfield could do. If you want to say you value speed, I value both. Green says hello. Green didn't look fast. Oh, Green, man, you never saw it. Like that dude was way faster than he looked. We need some Telvin Smiths and Tommy Polly's out there. At this point, I'll take a Buster Davis, man. Dix, Rice, and Gaynor. I think you're sleeping on Jaleel McRae, man. I really do. I think Jaleel McRae's in that mix. I think we're a good 4 deep at backer, man. That's me. I don't know why we have just like counted Jaleel McRae out. Jaleel McRae's freshman year was set up for him to be the next linebacker. And then I don't know if Chris Marv didn't like him. He just fell in the doghouse there. I don't know if the coaching change kind of messed with him. But I think Jaleel McRae can come back this year with a vengeance. I honestly do. I think Jaleel McRae's in that mix. I think definitely Emmett Rice, Steven Dix, a.k.a. the Hulk. Obviously Amari Gaynor. And I think Jaleel McRae's right there with them. Campbell couldn't stay healthy. Thoughts on Chris Parsons? I know you don't get too excited about the commit. He's got an arm. I'll give you that's my thoughts. I'm glad he's committed and he's got an arm. Exactly, I agree. That damn route tree sucks. Deloach. That's another dude that he adds depth. I saw a picture of Javion McCluster. If these guys we got backers, man, that look the part. If they can just play, these backers can surprise some people. Chris Marv, get on it. Because you ain't recruiting them, so you damn near need to be coaching them up. Because you ain't recruiting them. Chris Marv, you're not recruiting them. Can we at least get them to coach them up? Jesus. P-Dub, Cole, Dugans, Cooper, Bolden, Thorpe. As you start naming them, Sam, Rashad. Hell, people sleep on Willie Reed like he wasn't a dog. He just played with some bad quarterbacks, but Willie Reed was nasty. We've had guys at that position, man. I still think Green is the second best we've had at the university, though. And no, I don't count Ron Sellers and Frank Bolitnikoff, who played when none of us were alive and didn't even and played in a segregated NFL. So no, I don't count those guys. Sorry. The thing with Campbell was that he was always injured, and Terry has disciplinary issues and was always going to leave if Jimbo stayed. Deloach is a bust. We don't know that yet. I don't like when we call kids a bust and we ain't seen them. I like McCray since freshman. Me too. McCray was getting pick sixes in camps. That's what I'm saying. McCray was actually one of the few backers we had that could show coverage skills. I need him back. I need him in that rotation. DJ at linebacker. Oh, Lord help us. You notice I didn't mention his name. No Lundy, nowhere. I would take McCluster, Deloach, McCray. I dare I say, give me Eubanks before I get DJ Lundy out there. And I ain't even seen Eubanks yet. Sorry. Heard Lundy has gotten stiff in the hips. He's always been stiff in the hips. Look, one thing about me, man, I don't care about being right or wrong, but damn it, I said Lundy was a stiff prospect when they recruited him. And everybody told me he's a wrestler. What the hell does wrestling have to do with playing the linebacker position, people? He's a great athlete. Bro, stop. Lundy is not he's not a modern day linebacker. Lundy may have been a great linebacker in 1995 or 2000. Lundy is not a modern day linebacker because he can't move from sideline to sideline and he can't cover anything. I said that the day they recruited him in my scouting report on this channel. Not about being right or wrong, but damn it, when I'm right, I'm pretty mother freaking right. I'm pretty right. Yeah, Lundy the wrestler. I mean, if you guys want to see Lundy, I know some people really think that Lundy's a good player. Lundy would have been great in Jimbo's system because he'd be a linebacker. Lundy would have continued a string of really good linebackers. The Freddie Stevensons, the Chad Abrams, those guys, he would have been in that mold. And I think he would have probably excelled in that mold for sure. But Lundy's not a linebacker, guys. Not in today's NFL. He's not a linebacker. And I said NFL, but in today's football period, I say NFL because, that's the goal for these kids. But to be honest, look at DJ Lundy. Look at his measurements. Look how he moves. Is Lundy even a football player in today's football? Unless we're talking fullback. Unless we're talking a position of blocking. Maybe as a small, maybe a Delaney Walker. He's not even Delaney Walker. I don't even know why I said, not even tight end. Like Lundy, what is he? Too small to move him on the D line. What is Lundy's measurements? 6'1", maybe. Too small to work on the D line. Too slow to work on the edge. He's strong, okay. That's where fullback comes into play because that's where he would have been. What is he? Right now, he's just a guy. And I'm not here to downplay or talk bad about a kid. I've never talked bad about a kid personally, and I know it sounds like it, but I'm just strictly talking on the football field. I don't have a use for a DJ Lundy on my football team. Maybe someone else does. I don't. I don't see where I don't see his value on a foot unless I run the power I formation, strong eye. If I'm running those where I got a lead fullback, got a lead blocker, then I'm all for it. If I'm running the wishbone, I can work with a DJ Lundy. If I'm not running that, man, I don't need any of that. If I'm running triple option, traditional triple option, yeah, I can work with a DJ Lundy. And what we're doing now, what 90% of the college football programs and 90% of the NFL is doing right now, DJ Lundy doesn't fit today's league because he's not a linebacker. Played in the smallest classification in Georgia. There you go. Move him to tackle. Right. What's he gonna do at tackle? Because he's never gonna gain the weight to be a legit tackle. Same thing with DN. He's too slow on the end, and he's not long enough as a defensive end. Could we put Lundy on the D line? Not this year, obviously. Line Lundy up at fullback all day. Lundy has to go to DN special. That's the best you can ask for right there, Kerry. Special teams thumper, a guy who's gonna give his all as a gunner, kickoff, punt, stuff like that. That's anybody who's talking about we're gonna put DJ Lundy in the middle of any defensive formation and have him play sideline to sideline linebacker, you're doomed to fail. And I probably will get backlash for saying this. Pretty sure he's a great kid, man. He could play safety in what? Where? When? Where? He couldn't play safety in any era of football, let alone this one. Hell no. But I see the smiling, laughing, so I know you just playing. But man, you know. And like I always say, prove me wrong. To any kid that may, because these kids listen. I've found that out. I've done this long enough and have a solid enough of a following. Word gets back to them. Sometimes I have people DM me. The kids hear the stuff I say. They hear it. I don't say it to be negative. I just give my honest opinion on it. Just evaluate what I see. So any kid listening, prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. I will sit here and eat crow if I am wrong. I am not scared to say that I messed up and was dead wrong on a kid. Not scared to say it. DJ Lundy, prove me wrong. Running back, no. Fullback, yes. Running back, no. I mean, if you want to give them goal line carries, then I could see that. Okay, where will Gaynor line up against Notre Dame? With the addition of Cushney, I think so. Boot Juice is saying DN. I think that was the original plan for Amari Gaynor, but then they added Cushney at the last minute. I think you move Amari Gaynor back to linebacker. My starting linebackers are, despite the man-child that is Steven Dix, my starting backers to start the season would be Amari Gaynor and Emmett Rice. Because I think Cushney fills that role that they were going to use Amari Gaynor. I watched Amari Gaynor play stand-up linebacker in the spring game. Did a good job. Got to get a little bit more physical. But he diagnosed the plays well, and he filled the right gaps, which is what we didn't do last year. Triggered downhill, diagnosed plays quickly, hit the right gap. DJ Williams just ran him the hell over. It happens. It happens to the best of them. I need Gaynor to get a little bit more physical at the point of contact when he's in the hole like that. But Gaynor did some stuff in the spring game that we hadn't seen linebackers do all of last year. So I'm okay with Gaynor. Get him a little bit more physical. Put his helmet in there and get some tackles and not get ran over in a hole like that. But that's okay. I can work with that. Cushney, to me, means you're putting Gaynor back at linebacker. That's me. I used to talk about Corey Magnum, and Corey Magnum was garbage. Corey Magnum, up until Juwan Williams, Corey Magnum was the worst football player I'd ever seen in a garnet and gold jersey. And then Juwan Williams played football at left tackle for Florida State. Amari is too talented. Gaynor will, I agree on Gaynor and Rice. We do agree that he's on the field somewhere at all times. Gaynor has to be. That was the issue last year. I don't know if you heard the stat, Carrie. Gainer played 34% of the. Don't quote me on the exact number, but it was around 30 some odd percent of the snaps Gainer played defensively. Yet he led the team in tackles last year, but he played 30%. They couldn't figure. That was one of my biggest gripes on Adam Fuller. How do you have a talent like Amari Gainer and you don't use him? How does your most productive defensive player only play 34, 36, or whatever the number was percent of the snaps on defense? How is that even feasible? But Adam Fuller found a way to pull it off. Gainer should be on the field at all times. Yes. I'm not confident about McCray. I guess the reason I feel this way is because they never played him. And like a month ago, I saw a video of McCray running stadiums with Helton and Gainer. He seems hella sluggish. I mean, but do we know how many stadiums he was running? I mean, he might have just got tired. I got you. I still believe in McCray. I remember that freshman year of his where he was the best linebacker on the team in camp. And we already talked about camp, so I get it. He maybe practices well, doesn't play well. But I remember, I think they gave up too soon on McCray. I think something happened with him and Chris Marv, who are our starting DBs. We're going to get to DBs next. Let's finish up linebackers, and then we'll get to DBs next, since you brought it up, Boot. Is Mike Arnold better than Juwan? But I would take Arnold over Juwan. Yes. Bello and Juwan are close. I think I'd probably take Bello, though. I take Bello over Juwan. Carey says Bello. Polk, you should put on Andre Johnson. You know better than that. Dennis? You know better. I haven't given up on Helton. Not like I've given up on Jordan Young. I haven't given up on Helton. I think the problem I have with Helton is I don't think they know how to use Keyshawn Helton. Again, and I'm judging a lot off the spring game, but the spring game gives you kind of an insight of how they're looking to utilize certain pieces. I do not like them using Helton in the running sweep plays with him, reverses, the screen game. That's not how Helton needs to be used. He needs to be used like a traditional slot receiver. He needs to be going down the field, trying to take, up the seams, using Helton like that. I don't give up on Helton. I just don't like how they use him or how they use him in the spring. Maybe they'll use him different come the season. I did not like what I saw, what they tried to do with him in the spring. Everything was a sweep play, handoff, and I'm just, no. I think he is a true slot receiver, and they didn't use him like that in the spring. That's my issue. They were best as a freshman, recurring theme. Development has and still is a problem. Fair enough, but you're not going to develop with all the transitions they've had on the staff. Now that, year 2 of Norvell, we should see some development. So again, I'm not giving up on McCray. Year 2 under Chris Marv, let's see what McCray does. Dennis, just so if you're new here, he's a Cane. But Dennis is one of my first subscribers, man. So even though Dennis comes in and says some BS, I always keep Dennis around. Dennis is a good guy. True slot. Exactly, Carrie. He's a true slot, man. That's my thing with Keyshawn, and they didn't use him in the spring like that. Last year he was dropping balls. So maybe, I guess, in defense of the offensive staff, last year you played him, he was dropping footballs. You said, okay, let's just try to get the ball in his hands. So we'll eliminate trying to make him catch the ball and see if he can make plays. I just think he may have had a bad year last year. I haven't given up on him, but the staff may have kind of soured on him. So we'll see. I agree. Reverse plays are not for Helton. Off-ball receiver. Polk, remember they fooled us with that Juwan Williams was playing bad because of a shoulder injury. That boy was just bad. That boy was just bad, man. The sad part about Juwan is he was a highly touted kid. Like, he was one of the top offensive tackles in his class. That's the sad part about him, man. T2Y is definitely a closet Noel. Dennis just likes to bother me. But T2Y is definitely a closet Noel fan. Fabian Love will be the MVP of the D line. I like that pick, Ray. I like that pick. And an LOL, I knew I was the only one who knew at Zoe. So let's do the DBs. I think we'll close it off with the DBs. I mean, I'm good. I don't know about y'all, but I know we 2 hours in, but I'm Gucci, and we still got 50 people in here. So you guys let me know. We're moving on to DBs. What are we doing? Or y'all want to go D-line, D-tackle, D-end? What y'all let me know. Let me know in the chat. I'll give y'all time. Let me know what y'all want to do. And I do have some boxing on in the back. That the PVC on Fox is back here. And Buddy looked like he about to get knocked out. I think he got saved by the bell right there. Some upcoming heavyweights. Xbox, man, we all PlayStation. Wait, he said Xbox. Carrie must not know. Hold on, Carrie. Matter of fact, let me take this. Carrie don't know what we do over here. You see that? We don't do Xbox, bro. We don't do Xbox over here. What's the sudden love for Jerry and Jones? I don't necessarily have love, but I think. Let me fix the camera a little bit. I don't know. Call it a gut feeling. Call it what you want. I think Jerry is gonna come. I think Jerry's gonna come and play football this year. And again, not. I don't care about being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll be quick to tell Jerry and Jones my thoughts. I think Jerry Jones is gonna come surprise some people this year. Ray says so. I got one for D line, one for DB. DN, so I'll consider that D line. So I got 2 for D line, 2 for DB. The reason that is the reason why Norvell has camps to get good observation of the talent. PC, yeah, can't argue with a PS3 gamer. This man said, "Where the PS3? The PS5 took that spot, man." Jerk just gonna have to let me find a spot for it, I guess. So right now we're 2 for 2, 3. Okay, 3 DBs. This is my first live. All right, Carrie. Shout out to Carrie. First live. The PS3, man, it's still around here. I just ain't got it hooked up. And then DB. All right, so I'm thinking. Do I want to do DB or I kind of want to do D line. I kind of want to save the DBs for last. We're gonna do DBs last, man. Because I know y'all want to talk about DBs. So we'll save the best for last. We're gonna go the whole D line. So we won't just do DN. We'll do the entire D line. And obviously, Jermaine Johnson is numero uno. I think Cushney comes in at the other end. At worst, Cushney is a legit backup. But I can't think of anybody starting opposite of Jermaine Johnson other than a Marcus Cushney. The problem with the defensive end position becomes when you start talking about depth. Does Quayshawn Fuller finally take a step? Derek McClendon finally take a step? Do we get anything out of Patrick Pate in year one? Does Byron Turner come in year one? Can Leonard Warner make somewhat of an impact at defensive end? I know everybody's going to give a good old hell no in the chat on the Leonard Warner talk. But, I mean, these are the options that we have if we're just being legit. Does Amari Gaynor play linebacker and DN? Meaning the downs he's not playing stand-up backer, do they try him at defensive? That'd be an interesting thing to see. They have options. It's a matter of guys finally taking the step and playing some football. but they got some options. Again, I think your bookends are Cushney, Jermaine. The big question is who's backing up who. I think, does Josh Griffiths get any burn? I think I would go McClendon backing up Jermaine Johnson, and I really don't know who would back up Cushney. I really don't. Maybe Byron Turner can come in year one and give you some legit reps. Johnson, Cooper, Thomas, Cushney. We'll get into that defensive tackle because I don't disagree with you on that defensive tackle front. But I'm going to explain my reasoning. Man, I can't wait to see these newcomers. McClendon is a tackle. No. I don't see Derek McClendon as a tackle. I don't know why you would want to put 60 pounds on him and move him inside. Gainer is an Anthony Barr clone. Interesting. Needed to put Rolando Green. Y'all jump into the DBs, damn it. Needed to put Rolando Green back at DB. He played DB good as a freshman. Safety was new to him. That's why he was making mistakes. And improved D-line equals improved secondary play. Now, that's 100% true. If we can generate a legit pass rush, secondary is going to improve regardless. If we move inside to defensive tackle, if we had more depth, your starting defensive tackles would be Lovett and Coop. The problem is I am not a fan of the depth of that room. Once you get past Lovett and Cooper, everybody gets drastically smaller. Briggs is at like 270. Keir Thomas is 270. I mean, I'm probably True Thompson. They list him, but True Thompson's super short. I don't know what you're really gonna get out of True. Joshua Farmer, Jarrett Jackson. I would go Lovett. No, I would go Coop. I would play Keir Thomas next to Robert Cooper. I would have Lovett back up Robert Cooper. And Dennis Briggs back up Keir Thomas. I can work with that four-man rotation. I think I can work with that four-man rotation. And anything I get from a Joshua Farmer is a plus. Anything I get from a Jarrett Jackson is a plus. Right? Anything I get from True Thompson is a plus. But that four-man rotation with Coop and Keir, with the backups being Lovett and Dennis Briggs. That's my thoughts on the defensive line. Starting defensive line as a whole, Jermaine, Coop, Keir, Cushion. That's what will be my starting defensive line. And I can make that work. I think I can make that work. Johnson, Lovett, Keir, and Cush. You think Lovett would start over Coop? I can see it. I can see it, Ray. I can see it. I think Coop or Lovett. I kind of would go with Coop first, but Briggs. Correction, I was confusing McClendon with Briggs. Okay, will Coop get drafted? If he has a good enough season this year, I believe he will. He's built. He's your prototypical NFL defensive tackle. We got to put it on the field. We got to put it on the field. Coop not a pass rusher. I know. That's why you use him next to Keir Thomas, because Keir Thomas is. Give me Coop to eat up the space. And Keir Thomas then can work either one-on-one or get a free run to the passer from the defensive tackle position. That's why I say you can kind of swap out Coop and Fabian. They can kind of play the same role as a space eater, even though I think Fabian works a lot better in space. But I just need I just need Coop to eat up blocks. Give Keir Thomas room to work. Or whoever's playing next to him for that matter. Boot Juice says, yeah, he's all right, though. All right, y'all got quiet on the defensive line talk. 4-2-5. Move Lucas to D-line. I don't know if we can afford to move anybody off of the offensive line, though. Whether or not we think Lucas is going to, contribute or not. All right, we'll finish up with DBs. We're getting a little quiet. Chat's going down a little bit. We still got 41 in here. But we'll finish with the DBs. Everybody's favorite position. So I expect us to conversation to get back up here. Hold on a second. Hold on, let's read some of these. You think Briggs start opposite of Johnson and bring in Cush on third down? Then that's taken away from your defensive tackle depth, Ray. I think Briggs kind of does, and I also think Briggs does his best work inside. I'm not calling him Marcus Walker, but Briggs one-on-one with the guard works. Same way with when DeMarcus Walker had that 16 sack season his last year. He was listed as a defensive end. Go back and watch him. He played defensive tackle, and they would just line him up with a guard, and there wasn't a guard in the country that could block him. And I think it's very similar. I think Briggs can be something similar to that. Obviously, he's not DeMarcus Walker, but Briggs to me can be something similar to that. I think he would do his best work on the inside. Johnson, Coop, Lovett, Cush. That would be the de facto for me. The thing is, again, depth goes into my thought process. Lovett or Coop gotta come off the bench to give the other one a break. What up, brother Brooklyn? Jarvis Brown Lee. Samori Tate production, Demori Tate production, and Tyler with the $5 donation. My man, shout out to Tyler. I'm gonna give you dub.
Yeah, get more money, more money. Yeah, get more money, yeah.
We all hope and wish that he could suit up this year. Polk, who's your sub package D-line? Who is your sub package D-line? Across the entire front, again, the defensive ends kind of confuse me, man. If you put me on the spot, McClendon backs up Jermaine Johnson. Fabian Lovett backs up Coop. Briggs backs up Keir. And I'll say Quayshawn Fuller backs up Cushney. And I'm not I'm not 100% comfortable even with that. Don't sleep on Jarian. I think Jarian's going to be one of the starters. I've been pretty consistent with that. I think with the 4-2-5, so we got 5 DBs. I think your 3 corners, your nickel, and your 2 corners on the outside. I think you're going Jarian Jones, Brandon Moore, and I think Jamie Robinson at the nick. Brownlee's a good backup to have. Brownlee could legitimately maybe be a starter. We'll see. But that's my 3. Jamie Robinson at the nickel. Jamie Robinson's good because he can either play nickel or safety. And I would even go a step further and put Jamie at Brandon Gant's position. Let him play alongside Travis J. I'd be more comfortable with Jamie playing Brandon Gant's position next to Travis J. Then I can throw Brownlee at the nickel spot and still have my two outside guys. But what I think they're going to do is what I just said. Jerry Jones, Brandon Moore, Jamie Robinson, and then I think your two safeties will actually be Ronaldo Green and Travis J. I think they kind of value more of a playmaker at that safety position than they do kind of a thumper. Didn't Tate post a picture out of? Yeah, I saw a recent picture of him actually running some drills, or like in the helmet and shorts and the shirt. So Demore Tate definitely could be in the rotation. The great thing about the DB room is that it's stacked. We got guys everywhere, man. Again, I'm putting Jerry and Jones in the starting position. If Jerry and Jones don't play up to par, throw in Jarvis Brownlee, throw in Akeem Dent, throw in Demore Tate, throw in Hunter Washington, throw in Omarion Cooper. Oh, Miko Dotson, the Arkansas transfer, McClellan. Man, they got a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys at corner, man. Dent, come on, son. I'm one of your biggest. I am a big supporter of Akeem Dent too. I'm not ready to count him out. I don't know if he's gonna start though. Oh, you mean? Well, definitely. We're talking about pinning your ears back on third down. You got him in third and long, and you're pinning your ears back. Cushney, Jermaine Johnson. They're still my two outside guys. Up the front, I would still. You got to keep Coop in there to space eat, and I would line. I probably would still line Keir Thomas next to him. So my third, I put my starters in for a situation like that. Late, what up, Anthony? I'm so glad the hot drama is gone, and I hope this defense plays as a team. Oh, my bad, Tyler. I thought you said of a cast. Dent scares me. He shouldn't scare you because he's not going to – I don't believe he's going to start. So I don't know, brother Brooklyn. I don't think he needs to scare you. Kevin Knowles is going to be in the mix, man. Like, they got a bunch of dudes. I've already answered that one, bro. 8 minimum. I wholeheartedly believe that. They go out there to lose Notre Dame week 1. My whole tune can change. But I believe 8. I believe 8's the minimum. I think I forgot all about Sidney Williams. Darius Green McKnight. They got guys, man. They got guys. Brandon Gant. They got guys at safety. They are full of guys at the DB. I'm not worried about DB. I'm more worried about can we generate a consistent pass rush? Because if we can do that, I'm not too worried about DB. Where I get worried about DB is like last year, we can't rush the passer and quarterbacks all time to throw. Well, I don't care how good of a DB you are, you can't cover for 8, 9, 10 seconds. So that's me. I'm just happy all the excuses are gone. Not accepting Jones and Dotson being burned constantly. Dotson didn't play like maybe but a game last year, so I think in that game I do recall I think he got burnt maybe once or twice, but Dotson didn't play a lot last year. Jones was again. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he did not play up to par last year. That's for damn sure. Hold on a second. JR with the $5 cash app. Shout out to my man, Jay Oliver.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
I'm gonna entertain New King right here. He says, "What is something realistic that can happen that will make you lose faith in Norvell this season?" That faith word. I don't have. What am I trying to say here? My faith in Norvell comes from his recruiting prowess so far, and that he took over a situation that I will argue that Norvell took over a more toxic situation than what Willie Taggart took over. And I think the transfer showed that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not making excuses for Norvell. To answer your question, something realistic that can happen that will make me lose faith in Norvell with whatever little faith I have. Norvell is on a short lease with me. I love what he's doing on the trail. I do need to see improvements on the field. So I'm not really like tooting the Mike Norvell horn, but I do believe in the vision I see kind of coming to fruition. Anyway, what would make me lose faith is the on-field product looks no different. The same thing that perfect answer. The same thing that'll make me lose faith in Norvell will be the same thing that made me lose faith in Willie Taggart. From year 1 to 2, I saw no improvement. None. That Florida State team you saw from Willie Taggart's first year was the exact same team. There was no improvement on the offensive line. There was no improvement in the quarterback. Nothing improved under Willie Taggart from year 1 to 2. If we look exactly like we looked last year, then I'd be done with Norvell, or lose faith in him, as you say. Kevin Knowles is a playmaker. Yeah, in that game he got burned like 3 times in a row. Lingard transfer. I can see Sidney Williams in the role. I like Sidney Williams. Sidney Williams is a guy who played a lot better than I think people expected him to. We need to join the SEC before the door. The door's not closing anytime soon. In my humble belief. I agree. Norvell took a worse situation, and he seems to be getting the guys he wants. Yeah, that's my opinion. Like, dare I say, I think Norvell took over a worse situation. You can make a great case that Willie Taggart took over an extremely talented team with Cam Akers and DeAndre Francois, Tamarion Terry, Naquan Murray, Kalen LeBourne, Marvin Wilson. Look at the team he took over. And we're not going to make this a Willie Taggart, Mike Norvell conversation, I promise you. But there was no improvement in that team. We're going to see what Mike Norvell does year 2 after cleaning shop. He cleaned shop. New King asks an interesting question. What's more likely to happen? Your QBs throw 40 TD. Well, how many quarterbacks a year throw 40 touchdowns? So I will say that that's not very likely that a quarterback throws 40. 20 sacks as a team is a lot more likely. Think how bad our offensive line was last year, and we had 10 sacks as a team. 20 sacks is way more likely than a 40 touchdown season, because how many quarterbacks usually do that? If Milton's throwing 40 TDs and he's in the Heisman conversation, if he's throwing 40 TDs. I think Jameis won the Heisman with throwing 41 or 42 TDs or something like that. If Milton's doing that, he's in the Heisman conversation, and Florida State's winning a lot of games. I don't know. I might want that 40 TDs, but I think it's more likely that you get a 20 sacks as a team. Taggart had some ballers and blew it. Again, I'm not trying to make it as a conversation, but no lies were spoken, right? No lies spoken right there, man. Exactly. Let's see it. No excuses this year. I do believe we will see a lot of improvement, though. Don't join the SEC. Build the ACC. What's so good about the ACC that you want to stay, Abigani? Or Adangbe, sorry. What's so good about the ACC that you want to stay? Unless you can lure Penn State, there's nothing to build the ACC with. And if you say West Virginia, I'm done. West Virginia is not the move. I don't care what they tell you. Notre Dame and Penn State would be a power move that I could get 100% behind. Notre Dame and West Virginia is garbage. West Virginia does not bring anything to the table that At this point, you're talking about competing with the SEC. That should be the goal. West Virginia brings nothing to the table. West Virginia market? What? What is that? They bring no market. They bring no fans. They bring no revenue. I don't care how much they invested in their football facilities. That's irrelevant. We need marketing. We need branding. We need fans. That's what's going to drive up the income for the schools. That's why Texas and Oklahoma is so huge for the SEC. It's massive. Even though Texas ain't won since Vince Young. And even before Vince Young, I don't think they had won since like the 60s or 70s. And Oklahoma hasn't won since 2000 when they beat us in the national championship. Go figure. The brands, the markets they bring is massive, and the fan bases are national wide. West Virginia does not bring that. Notre Dame does. West Virginia does not bring that. West Virginia is the equivalent of a Louisville. Hell, Louisville is more important than to the ACC, in my opinion, than a West Virginia would be. Who the hell lives in Morgantown? What's the population of West Virginia as a whole state? Nobody outside of the state roots for that team. They're not nationally branded. Sorry. I know people aren't going to like to hear that, but that's just the truth. Notre Dame is the most possible. I said just Notre Dame, West Virginia, Penn State. Penn State, I'm all for Penn State. The Pennsylvania market, they are the premier. We already have Pitt. Pitt's not as big as Penn State. That Pennsylvania market, that Northeast market, that's big time. Penn State is more Northeast than a Syracuse is, right? Penn State would be huge. They're a national brand. Even though they haven't won, they're a national brand. Obviously, Notre Dame hasn't won, but they're a national brand. Those two teams would be a power move. They're not going to be like, okay, the ACC is trying to compete. West Virginia is just taking there's a reason why West Virginia has moved from the Big East to the Big 12, and now they're going to be looking for another home here because they don't have any staying power. They'd be a good second-tier team. You shouldn't be leading your expansion with West Virginia Mountaineers. I will say that the 2 million people in West Virginia are rabid. Yeah, but those 2 million people don't do it. Not at all. They're they're reactive to everything. Everybody gets to jump on the ACC, and then the ACC. That I talked about it. That's the problem with the ACC. Is they always are reacting. They're never out in front, like you said. They're never proactive. Where's the vision? Where's the vision in the ACC? SEC obviously has a vision, or somebody in the SEC is like, let's just get all the good teams and we go from there and we'll figure it out. ACC has no vision. They're behind the curve. Basketball is not what you need to be centering your conference around. I am sorry. Notre Dame and Penn State would be the solid get for the conference. Yeah, it'd be at this point, it's the best get you can get. I have heard rumblings that Penn State isn't exactly thrilled with their Big Ten schedule and that they would kind of want to stay more on the East Coast. I've heard rumblings of that. Does anything ever come of it? Probably not. There's too much money in the Big Ten probably for Penn State to pull out. But that would be the move if you could make it. Penn State. UCF, no. Because UCF, as good as UCF as a program may be now, UCF and USF and FAU and FIU, they'll always be overshadowed by the big three. Because you have UCF grads, USF grads, FAU grads, FIU grads, alumni, who don't even rock their own school colors. They rock Florida State, Miami, or Florida when it comes to football season. They don't even rock their own school's football colors. UCF more so now because they've been better in recent years. But most of those schools I just named, they don't even represent their own schools when it comes to football season. They represent the big three. bringing another Florida school to the ACC doesn't do it. I told you those are the only two teams. And the only third team, and I talked about this before, that you can consider would be a Houston in that Texas market, in a big city in Texas at that. Houston, close to Louisiana, makes more sense. Outside of that, it's a Penn State and Notre Dame. Houston would be the third, but Houston's not even big enough to pair with Notre Dame. It's got to be Notre Dame and Penn State. And then if you want to continue to, then you could pair West Virginia and Houston. I don't know why Penn State would do it, though. Don't understand why they are unhappy with the Big Ten. I'd say the Big Ten is second. Money-wise, they're definitely second. I think talent-wise is what he's saying. And if you check the NFL draft, talent-wise, the ACC has been second to the SEC because the ACC is primarily Southeast. So it's not a surprise there. Southeast is where all the football talent is. So that's not the surprise. Money-wise, the Big Ten is the second best conference in college football. I do think talent-wise, the ACC is the second best conference talent-wise. Bartow and Joseph are better than – hey, Bartow and Joseph have been showing out. Are any other conferences other than the SEC as strong as the ACC? We just mentioned the big – again, talent-wise, if we just check NFL drafts, usually the ACC is second. Money-wise and kind of like where this is my opinion, but where the Big Ten has the edge over the ACC is in the coaching. I think they have better overall coaching than the ACC does. Straight to the point, says starting secondary. What did I say? Jerrion Jones, Brandon Moore, Jamie Robinson, Ronaldo Green, Travis J. No squad, not denying that, just saying Juwan has been doing well here. If they come to the ACC, it'll boost that. I'm hoping they at least see it that way. The ACC only cares about – I know that. That's the problem. That's why I don't want Florida State in it. I've spoken about that. They only care about those Carolina schools because it was built as a basketball conference. The problem is the only basketball school – like if the ACC was to break it down, and you said, what schools would you take from the ACC to start from scratch if you could add other schools, not counting the SEC, right? The only schools I would take from the ACC, there's legitimately only 4. And I'm only saying Clemson because of recent years. Because historically, I would argue, I would only take 3. But I'm going to give Clemson the nod because you can't deny what they've done in the last, I'll say 10 years. Since 2010 or 2012, I'll say in the last 10 years, I can't knock Clemson. Historically, I would throw Clemson out the door, if we're being honest. But I'll give you Clemson, North Carolina, because even though football-wise, but North Carolina is a national brand because Michael Jordan is a national brand. Michael Jordan made that North Carolina brand national. Hell, you could argue Michael Jordan made that North Carolina brand worldwide. That UNC brand, obviously Clemson, and Florida State and Miami. That's it. There's only 4 teams I'm taking from the ACC. Everybody else can go to hell if we're talking about building a football conference. And then I can add from other conferences. But I would start it with those 4 teams. Houston isn't even a geographical fit. Well, hell, West Virginia wasn't a geographical fit in the Big 12, but they did it. I personally don't believe Oklahoma is a geographical fit in the SEC, but they're doing it. Oklahoma's a lot more west than it is southeast. FSU and Clemson need to bounce to the Big Ten. That's the only move for FSU. Agree, DF. Geography doesn't even – exactly. It doesn't matter anymore. Geography doesn't matter anymore. How can Texas be a fit for the SEC? But I get it because it's the Atlantic Coast Conference, but At this point, is Louisville, Kentucky, the Atlantic coast? You feel me? Like, college football is changing fast. Yes, it is. I believe FSU will win. Minimum of 8, bruh. FSU bounced to the Big Ten. If they would have us, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I don't know if the Big Ten would be interested in adding a Florida school, though, because Ohio State has a pretty good stronghold. I don't think the Big Ten would actually want a team like Florida State in their conference. Big Ten doesn't want us. NFL talent wise, the ACC is sometimes first. Prioritizing basketball is such a mistake. They're stuck in like I don't know what era they're stuck in, but yeah, they've prioritized basketball for the last 20 years, and that's why the ACC is where it is. It is a sinking ship. I 100% agree. No, I wouldn't take Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's not bigger than North Carolina. Is it bigger than Clemson? Again, I'm giving Clemson the benefit of the doubt because of what they've done the last 10 years. Historically, maybe Virginia Tech's bigger than Clemson. I don't know. That's a debate for Clemson and Virginia Tech fans. I really don't care to have that debate. I'm only speaking of recent times. And if I'm starting the ACC from right now, it's North Carolina, it's Clemson, it's Florida State and Miami. Maiden Day says big facts. FUACC. If you were to create a super conference out of the schools outside the SEC, what schools would you pick? So I started with those 4 out of the ACC. Now let's look again. Let's just try to look at national brands that can compete with the SEC. So then your next up, it's got to be Ohio State, right? It's got to be Michigan. That gives us 6 teams so far. Penn State, Notre Dame gets us to 8. USC gets us 9. I'll take Oregon. How many? What is it? SEC has 16, so now I need to add 6 more teams. I'll take UCLA, even though, again, name brand. I'm looking at name brand and what brings eyes. UCLA will bring that name brand. That gives us 11. I'll take Maryland for the DMV area. That gives me 12. And since I'm going to take Maryland, I'll go back to Virginia Tech to give us 13. Kind of give that Northeast a little love over there. I feel like I need to add another Texas school, so we'll take TCU. Let's throw Washington, and I think we'll end up with either Stanford or Texas Tech. What do y'all think about that? What do you think about that? I can care less about Wisconsin. Did I say Wisconsin? I don't even know if I said Wisconsin, but what do you think about the guys like Freeman and Cook coming back to get their degree? That's awesome. It's always awesome to come back and get your degree. Speaking of Devontae Freeman, he signed a 1-year deal with the Saints, so him and James will be in the same backfield again. And Freeman will be playing alongside Alvin Kamara, so that could be a good look there. FSU and Clemson are actually academically and physically much different than the Big Ten schools. The Big Ten is $768 million. SEC is $728 million total revenue. Big 12 will be gone by 2023. Clemson is a power. I forgot about Georgia Tech actually in that conversation. Yeah, to hell with take out like a Texas Tech or Stanford and throw Georgia Tech in there. Pac-10 better get Boise. I think Ohio State means more than Clemson. Ohio State definitely means more than Clemson. If you were talking, if I was just stripping everything down bare naked, yeah, absolutely. Ohio State would be your first pick. Virginia Tech has a great fan base, good football and basketball, and they have access to the DMV recruiting grounds. Tyler says Wisconsin. There were also a good in 2000s and early 2010s. Tyler, I agree with Wisconsin. Houston, the uncertainty of what's going to happen is annoying. Penn State, Pac-10 academics might be too much for FSU. And if that conference was real, it would be a bloodbath. Houston is a toilet. You thought Gainesville was bad. So yeah, I mean that's kind of like off the cuff, just my super conference, right? I honestly don't know how I forgot Georgia Tech. You gotta have that South Georgia, Atlanta area. So Georgia Tech would definitely be in the mix. Yeah. And yeah, that conference, like Thomas said, would be disgusting. I had Penn State in mind. But if you're talking about to the current ACC, give me Penn State. I don't want anything to do with West Virginia. That $3 billion TV deal the SEC has is going to affect 2024. It's going to swallow everything in its sight, if we're being honest. But that just goes to show you how many filler teams there are. Notre Dame needs up to make up their mind. There's POLK. What's that you drinking on? Yeah, it's like a seltzer. Truly hard seltzer. Something light. Nothing too heavy tonight. Something light. And we've been on for 3 hours and we still 50 strong. Jesus, y'all are tuned in tonight. So shout out to the chat. I mean, let me know how long y'all want me to keep this thing rocking. I'm chilling. Cut out the nobodies and have that top 30 teams compete with each other. You really think the Noles will win 8 games? Minimum, John. Independence means a lot to Notre Dame. Y'all don't understand. It only means a lot because of their NBC deal. Notice their basketball team's in a conference. Basketball team don't hold the same weight. I'm not worried, though. To be honest with you, I'm not worried about. I think college football is going in the right direction, regardless of what people think. And it may look a little shaky right now because everybody's worried that their school could get left out. Your school, if your school is worth anything, it ain't getting left out. When the dust settles, Florida State's not getting left out of no major conference hole, guys. It's not happening. Too much tradition, too much. Florida State's not getting left out. It ain't happening. I'm not worried about it. I'm excited for it. I think college football is kind of going in. I don't know if it's going in the right direction, but it's going in an exciting one for me. And that's just me. That's just me. I hadn't even been paying attention to the fights, Tyler. We got 2 years for the ACC to make up some kind of huge deal or even merger with the Big Ten. The NBC, it does matter to them because they're making revenue off of it. Now, I'm not like in the contracts. I don't know how that works, but I know last year with Notre Dame being the ACC, how much more money ACC teams made last year with just the addition of Notre Dame being in the conference because they were on more TV. Why do you think the SEC is as successful as it is? Because of their TV deals. Not only is the SEC on CBS, they have an entirely their own network that's backed by ESPN, Walt Disney. I agree, Lorenzo. FSU should have left years ago. Absolutely. We are witnessing didn't we talk about this months ago when I said this, the NCAA is on its last legs and we are about to start seeing the tides of change? Did I think it would happen with Oklahoma and Texas? No, but The end of the NCAA as we know it is done. Where I think schools and conferences are just going to police themselves. What is NCAA? I've talked about this before too. What is NCAA even good for nowadays? Kids are getting paid, even though if the university not paying them, they're signing deals, making money now. Schools are going to be leaving and doing their own. The NCAA is changing and it's changing fast. I wouldn't be too worried though. Florida State's going to be fine. Hate to say it, but I'm fine with losing to Miami as long as it's close. Never fine with losing to Miami, but shout out to No Squad. That's just the way he feels, I guess. The ACC deal is worth more than Notre Dame TV deal. What ACC deal do we have? What ACC deal? The ACC deal was so lucrative. Why won't Notre Dame join the conference then? They're still asleep at the wheel. That's the problem. They've been asleep at the wheel for a long time. Again, the ACC has been like the last conference to act in it, and every time something like this happens, we're the last ones to act. I'll tell you where they really dropped the ball, though. The ACC dropped the ball when the first merger happened, and they brought in Boston College in Syracuse. That's where they dropped the damn ball. They had no reason to absorb the Big East the way they did. What benefit has Boston College ever played in the ACC? Nobody in that region gives a damn about college football. They care about the Boston Red Sox or the Bruins or the Celtics or the Patriots. They don't care or watch or give a damn about Boston College Eagle football. That's where they drop the ball. No one cares about Syracuse football. Syracuse is a basketball school. That's where they dropped the ball. They had no business adding those teams. Louisville was a good ad, in my opinion. Other than that, they dropped the ball when they added Boston College in Syracuse and let Maryland walk. They should have kept Maryland. They should have kept Maryland over adding Boston College and Syracuse. That's where the ACC dropped the ball. Oh, and Pitt, you can add Pitt in that too. And I get Pitt. Pitt's one of those schools that back in the day, yeah, you could mention Pitt. They had Dan Marino and Tony Dorsett. Got it. But this ain't the 80s anymore. People in that area don't care about their college football like that anymore. They might as well. That's the problem with the ACC network. They might as well just make it the Clemson network because that's who they stroke all the time. They disrespect Florida State so much, I don't watch it unless Florida State's playing on the channel. The only good thing they have ever put on that channel that has to deal with Florida State was the Bowden Dynasty documentary. That's it. To hell with the ACC and its network. How you know it's the end of the NCAA is I haven't heard them say a thing in months. It seems like they're just what are they going to say? They don't have any power to say anything. I remember they had talks about bringing in UConn. Oh, how trash that would have been. Back then, it was about smaller markets. At that same time, the SEC added Missouri and Texas A&M. How is it about smaller markets? Two vastly bigger markets. People sleep on that Missouri area, but a lot of good kids come out of that area, and that area cares about its college football. Two markets vastly bigger and more interested in the Boston and upper New York areas. They dropped the ball. No squad is inevitable. I hope we all end up in the SEC. I know both our programs will survive in college football world. What up, Polk? So, what's to stop a recruit/transfer from being a super walk-on with NLI? Big time new might not. That's true. You're actually the first person I actually heard talk about that. But you make a good point. I think the issue with what you're saying, though, however, is what company is going to throw money at a kid that's not representing a major university, right? So, yeah, I don't know if like you said, like a kid could just walk on and have NLI pay for the scholarship. It's theoretically possible. I don't know if that kid is going to be getting those type of deals unless his name is attached to a. These are all our investments, right? If you play for Bama, I can put some money in you because Bama's going to be on national TV every year. If you're just trying to walk onto a school, there's a chance that you sign a deal with the team or you sign a deal with that kid and he takes the money and he walks and never even, so I think that's kind of the flaw in that scenario. I don't know. He doesn't probably have that money. Now, if you're talking about transferring from one school to another, that's interesting as well. Again, with all the money that's swirling out there, these kids are going to start needing agents. ACC missed on the chance of getting Notre Dame in football last year by letting them play in the ACC schedule without joining the football. That's true too. They should have told Notre Dame at that point last year. Notre Dame needed the ACC more than it needed Notre Dame, and the ACC again, if they were smart, if they were proactive, if they had a plan, they would have squeezed Notre Dame and said, "Look, we're willing to play scheduled football games with y'all, but you have to join the conference either now or figure it out." Notre Dame didn't want to miss that football money. They probably could have squeezed them into joining the ACC. But, of course, again, we're talking about the ACC here. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be stuck in the ACC. There's no respect, especially with what the SEC is doing. Pitt was a decent addition. That program fell with the Rust Belt residents migrated down south. TV markets. The TV markets there are no TV markets for Boston. No one watches that. It's like it allows the ACC network to get into cable households there. Even if it isn't BC, it's other teams. Nobody watches it though. Like that's I don't know if that's what you're not understanding. They don't care about college football in those regions is the point. Regardless if it's Boston College, you could throw Alabama and LSU in the Boston area and no one's going to watch it because they don't care. Those aren't college football hotbeds like Texas and Missouri are. And Northern New York is another one. They don't care. Yes, there are some people there. The market, which is what we're talking about, does not care about college football. It's a fact. It's like the numbers reflect that. Polk, did you talk about Quinn Edwards possibly? I haven't talked about that. I did see him put a statement out saying he would possibly skip his senior year in high school because he can't sign $1 million. Stuff like that is going to ruin kids, though. Because if Quinn Edwards doesn't play football, how does he keep that ranking? How does Quinn Edwards stay the number one recruit if you don't play? I don't know if I would want a kid coming to my campus and I ain't seen him play football in over a year. And maybe Quinn Edwards is an exception because he's a quarterback and blase, and he's so highly talented. I'd be careful with that if I were these kids going forward. The ACC had Notre Dame in their hands last summer. They did, and they let them off the hook. Yes, talking about transfers to fill spots of big-time U, even though that university has used all of their scholars because they can set up a huge NLI deal while winning a natty and raising their draft stock. UF will vote against UF. No, I don't agree. I think at this point, if you notice in the last votes, A&M didn't vote against Texas. Florida, at this point, there's more money for Florida to make if Florida State and Miami join. It doesn't benefit Florida from having Florida State and Miami not join the SEC because Florida's biggest game of the year is still going to be Florida State. Like, there's a reason why Oklahoma and Texas, bitter rivals, join the SEC together. I don't think Florida would vote against it. Yeah, I agree with Noel Squad. He said, I think they would vote yes. I don't think they would vote against it. The Bevo and Boomer going to SEC isn't about how schools vote anymore. It's what the conference thinks is best for the individual school. Well, I mean, they did vote on it, though. What's up, Cat 6? Quinn Edwards wants to graduate early. SEC, ACC merge, and Big Ten and Pac-12 merge. Yeah, that would be, I'm telling you right now, John and White, in your scenario, the SEC and the ACC would dominate that. It would dominate that. What do you think is more likely? FSU joining the SEC, staying in the ACC, or joining a different conference? What's the timetable? For the foreseeable future, staying in the ACC. In the long run, I think the SEC has to be the end goal for Florida State, unless you can again talk to one of those northern schools and figure out something and create like a, Conference USA, but obviously it won't be called that. It's called something else. But you know what I mean? Like, unless you can make something like that, I think the end goal should be the ACC. But for the foreseeable future, yeah, it'd be the ACC. Florida's biggest game is Florida State. It's not Georgia. Now, in recent years, I can kind of get why you would say Georgia. Speaking of signing with agents, USC QB Keldon Slave signed with Clutch Sports. Another ACC blunder was adding UM. What has UM done in the last 20 years? No, I think UM was the lone smart move they had. At the time they got UM wasn't what they turned into over the last 10 years. When did Miami join? Like early 2000s, right? When they joined the ACC. Regardless, the whole plan was to have Florida State and Miami playing twice a year in the championship game and all of that. UM was the lone smart move they made, honestly. Now, UM didn't live up to their side of the bargain because they haven't made one conference championship game, but that's a whole different discussion. At the time, UM was a smart move. You can't predict how a team, hires coaches and kind of goes through the process there. I don't know how the All Carolina Conference can be saved at this point, but at least old Commish who was so far up Duke and UNC as is gone. We'll see what this new one does. I like John's idea, though. Get it done. Maybe the SEC, Pac-12, and ACC Big Ten. Within 10 years, some big money has to be made for FSU to stay relevant. If we join the SEC, will you chant? No, I don't chant ACC. I don't believe in that conference pride crap. You don't hear me talking about how great Clemson is, like the SEC fans do. No, I don't do that. This is garnet and gold, no blooded all day, every day over here. I could care less if we played in the Sun Belt Conference. I just want to, obviously I don't want Florida State in the Sun Belt Conference, but you get what I'm saying. The conference alignment, what conference we play in doesn't matter in terms of just on the field. It only matters because this college football is controlled by money now. But no, I will not be chanting SEC. You got me messed up. Bobby Bowden wanted Miami in the ACC. They joined in 05. Right. So in 05 or in 04, whenever it was the year they joined, that's 4 or 5 years away from that national championship. Again, you can't predict that Miami would go almost, what are we on? We're almost 20 years. Like, you couldn't predict that Miami would go that long and be down so long. Don't worry, you'll get used to it if we do. No, I won't, because I'm not chanting that crap. Promise. College football, as we know it, will turn. I do think that'll happen. That does scare me. That does scare me. I don't want that. Now, I think the amateurism has been gone from college football for 20, 30 years. Definitely 20, maybe not so far 30 years back. But there is a layer of school and pageantry that makes college football special. Like, I don't even really, like, I think I've said this before. I don't even really watch NFL like that. I don't even really watch it. NFL, the football's great to watch, don't get me wrong, but I can't get emotionally tied to anything in the NFL. To me, the NFL is so generic. There's nothing special about it. There's no, again, this is my opinion, but everything's generic in the NFL. There's no renegade running on the field. There's no Miami coming out of the smoke or Georgia Tech driving that little car or Boomer soon. Like, that stuff makes college football so unique to me and brings a different level of energy. In the NFL, everybody just comes out to fireworks or whatever. Like, the NFL is very generic to me. Football is great in terms of, obviously, you're talking about the best guys in the world playing at the best level, the highest level, getting the highest level of coaching, highest level of competition. That's all great. Coaching's great. But it's just generic to me. I don't like it. I don't watch it. I really don't watch the NFL. I might turn into a game if watch some Dalvin Cook. Like, I'll pay attention to certain teams for certain players. Like, I'll pay attention to the Saints, see what Jameis is up to. But I don't get attached to it. And I don't want college football to lose that feel. Even if it's a facade, I want it to keep it. I want to keep that feel. What's up, man? You want to watch Charlie? Go tell Drea. What's up with Laybourne? Just graduating, from what I'm hearing, just getting his degree and moving on. Nothing really talk about. Profit sharing across the conferences. People have to realize that college ball will be the semi-pros. That's alternate league that has failed in the past, except it has a chance to be successful. No bands in the stands. Me too. I fully agree, but it just looks to be heading that way. College football will be more entertaining if all the big schools played each other every week. Nothing is exciting about watching us destroy UMass. It's deciding to me. I'm not even gonna lie, but see, that's where I get in. That's where I think maybe our opinions would differ, because I'm emotionally tied to this university. I have way more of a passion for this team. I want to see us put 80 on UMass, and I'm gonna enjoy every second of it. I promise you. Like, I love to watch that. But that's because that's emotions talking, right? Our Colorado running out of, you can go down the list of college football traditions. Wow, I played in the Sun Belt. Nothing wrong with the Sun Belt, man. I'm just saying. Obviously, we don't want to see the Seminoles in the Sun Belt. That's all I'm saying. But nothing wrong with it. Cameron Ramsey admitted they missed this. It's because there's no. Again, to me, it's generic. It's kind of robotic. They don't let dudes celebrate in the NFL. Dress code. So nobody can't really put anything unique on their uniforms in the NFL. Everybody kind of looks the same other than your numbers. They try to limit all of that in the NFL. So for me, NFL don't do it for me. Polk say he'll enjoy us putting 80 on UMass. I'm just being honest. Like, that's entertaining to me. Huh? Okay. To me, that's entertaining. Like, again, but that's emotions talking, right? That's because, hey, FSU beats any team by 45 points. That's a good Saturday for me. I like to see those small schools moving to more preseason role. I got you. Don't get it wrong. I love the big games too. But hell, I enjoy the blowouts and the mismatches. Again, I don't maybe like it when other teams do it, but I'm strictly being biased and talking about my team. I've watched the NFL team play in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. It wasn't as exciting to me as watching as a national championship, even when FSU wasn't in it. Even to me, yeah, even the Super Bowls aren't exciting to me. I watch the Super Bowls for the commercials. The commercials are the best part of the Super Bowl. The commercials are the best part of the Super Bowl. The game is just another game. Halftime shows are always drawn out, overhyped, and long for no reason. And even the commercials are getting not even as good as they used to be back in the day. But I just watch it for the commercials. But leave them alone. Before I was rudely interrupted, I got you. Give me a minute. We're at 3:30, and even we're still 50 strong. But I'm gonna have to cut it off, even with 50 strong in the building, man. We went 3 hours and 30 minutes, and we're gonna cut it off here, man. Again, thanks for everybody that came in here, man. Hit that like button on the way out if you didn't on the way in. Tyler trying to ask me questions to keep me going. Man, move your head. Come on, bro. Let me close out and then I got you. Okay? All right. Canes like it when we blow out other teams. I think most teams like it when their team blows out other teams. What is the best FSU game of all time? That's another conversation for another game, Tyler. I promise you. But yeah, man. One more time, too. For people that please put the subscriber count. Why? Just know we're over 1,000 and we're growing. Again, somebody put me on something, and that's why I took my subscriber count off. Just know we're over 1,000. We're over 1,100 actually, and we're gonna continue to grow. And we're gonna continue to grow. I promise. I want to. I didn't mean to show that. I want to show y'all my logo one more time. Again, dismiss the colors. Dismiss the colors. The colors are not a part of the logo. That's a video effect. And this is not a finished product. I've been holding off on showing y'all a lot of stuff, but this is not the only thing I got coming. But we got stuff coming, man. And this is just one of the things. Let me know what you guys think. And this stuff is coming to you on t-shirts and all other kind of stuff. Move your head. Again, hit that like button on the way out if you did hit on the way in. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. Well, let me get this off of here. Subscribe, hit the like button. As always, share the content. If you're liking what we doing over here, you want to keep growing this thing. We've had 50 packed in here the entire show. I mean, we can do that more often. And the only way to do it is by you guys putting out the word that, yo, we talking some stuff over here on this channel, man. You guys might like it. Again, even if you're not a Florida State fan, come through, see if you enjoy what I'm talking about. Hit the like button, man. Share the content. And, of course, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, what is you doing? Call yourself a Florida State fan and you're not subscribed. What is you doing? Some of y'all watch me and ain't subscribed to me, but you watch me every time I come on here. but got the nerve to come in my comments and say, you don't put out anything that makes me want to subscribe, but you watch me every day. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. Subscribe, like button, share. Thanks to everybody who came in here. It's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. And as always, stay classy, Seminoles. Stay grouchy Canes fans, but thank y'all who show up. And we out here, guys. I will see y'all next time, man. This was a good show. Had a lot of fun tonight. See you guys next time, man.